listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests.
What it do, y'all? It's DJ Slick Daddy from the Live Line, here to tell you about the hottest bar on the West Bank, After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelco Boulevard in Gretna. Come check us out on Monday for steak and oyster night. Thursday, free seafood night. Friday, 3-for-1 happy hour. Saturdays, ladies night, and always open for parties. And then Sunday, Saint Sunday, oldie but goodie Sunday. Come find out what is hidden for at After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelco Boulevard in Gretna. Doors open at 6, 12 p.m. on Sundays. After Dark is non-smoking atmosphere.
Yo, man, it's Fred. Listen, don't forget to like and subscribe to our New Orleans Talk Network page on. Keep going. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Fred. Listen, don't forget to like our page on YouTube, FanView, Facebook, FanView, and on Twitter, FanView New Orleans.
Holla at you, man, in the app with us, and we gonna make this thing on the pop, New Orleans Talk Network. Real fans talk about real energy, and not only sports, it's everyday activity and life, man.
My name is Jaquan Jackson, SMU commit, and you're tuning into FanView.
Yo, what's up? It's Pooga Williams, 2017 Mr. Football. You are now tuned into FanView Live on New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
FanView Live, where real fans talk about real sports, only on the New Orleans Talk Network. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're not just a sports talk show, we're a talk show about sports.
Hi, I'm Shug.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome again for the 46th episode of FanView Live on the New Orleans Talk Network. Listen, it's your boy Fred.
Coach Hurricane here.
And listen, my man GSportz will be arriving very short. Listen, y'all know what we're talking about, man. Listen, we got a lot to talk about, coaching.
Oh, yeah.
Got a lot to bring up this week.
Oh, yeah.
Lots going on. We got NFL football. We got Saints to talk about. National Signing Day. A little bit about AD in them trade rooms. Got a lot to discuss. Big time show for you guys. Stay impact. Stay tuned into us for the next 2 hours. This is the best sports show on the internet. I keep telling y'all each week. It's better than ESPN. It's better than Fox Sports. This is the place where you need to be. Y'all know what I like to do before I get ready to start this show? I always give a shout out and salute to the armed forces. The Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, First Responders, local police department, local fire department. Thank you guys from the bottom of our heart. If no one else gives y'all a shout out and salute each and every Thursday, FanView Live gonna give it to you, man. Gonna give it to you. Now again, subscribe to the New Orleans Talk Network on Facebook. Subscribe to New Orleans Talk Network on Twitter, NOTN Talk. You can also subscribe to also us on Instagram at FanView Live. You can subscribe to us, FanView NOLA. You can also subscribe to FanView Live on Facebook and also FanView Live on YouTube. And don't forget to follow my man GSportz. You're trying to keep updated what's going on in the state of Louisiana when it comes to high school sports. I keep telling y'all, he the plug. I ain't gonna tell y'all this no more. But listen, we gotta get into our show. Monday Night Football, Coach.
Yeah.
Saints, Panthers.
Yeah.
12-9. That was the game. Mm-hmm. Give us some of the big keys in the game, because obviously the Saints, have had some struggles in the past 2 weeks being on the road. Mm-hmm. Going to Dallas, ended up at Tampa Bay, now going to Carolina, got a big win. Mm-hmm. But talk about some of the keys in this game, some of the things that you saw in this 12-9 victory that you saw from the Saints.
Well, it was the biggest thing. It wasn't no panic. Don't let the score kind of sway you anyway. It's what it is. It's a divisional opponent that knows you very well. Each team knows what each other like to do. Mm-hmm. You heard it very clearly. The captain of the Panthers defense, Luke Kuechly, he was mic'd up. Yeah. Tell you, look, I got a good feed for these guys. Drew Brees checking, he's checking. You know what I'm saying? They know each other in and out, and this is the first time you playing them this late in the season. So I mean, you knew it was going to be a slow start to get in the game. But the best thing I could say that happened was the Saints defense showed up once again. Man, me and G kept telling everybody about Eli Apple. Change how change of scenery was what he needed. Being around, being around people that he's comfortable with, and then also don't get confused. The same young pups that are stars on this defense this year, last year they started off slow in the Saints defense. Mm-hmm. Lattimore by injury and all that stuff. Von Bell, Anzalone, all these guys started off slow, but once they got their feet wet and started hitting the ground, it was over. Guess what? Now Eli Apple has his feet wet and what the Saints are trying to do.
Big time interception. I mean, in the first half. Damn, Cam.
But I think the biggest thing was the Saints not panicking when they were shooting themselves in the foot. It was a good play call, I think, to the wrong person with the Tommy Lewis play. He also you got to understand the situation right there. Everybody is taught from high school on. Look, you get a play going going toward the sideline in the red zone.
Right.
Don't stretch it out unless you got the clear-cut breakaway to it. Him trying to stretch out and dive, that's the risk that you take. And that's what defense is taught. Somebody put the ball out, trying to make a superhuman play. We gonna knock it out. Worst case scenario, best case scenario is a touchback. Worst case scenario, the ball goes out of bounds and maybe you lose couple of yards. You're not gonna just stretch the ball out like that, and that's not his game. Look, once you seen you couldn't get the edge, step out of bounds. Step out of bounds. It was what?
Right.
Second down.
Yeah, it ended up being a touchback. Ball flies in the end zone.
But way to hunker down. Von Bell, I can't say enough about him. The Panthers get a hell of a play call, hell of a play design. Ricky comes up the middle on a little inside reverse, and man, Von Bell comes on a blitz, which was a lot of people didn't see. He came on a blitz, got caught up in the wash. And then he sprints all the way down, didn't give up on the play, forces a fumble, and they get a turnover right there. You get a turnover right before the half with Eli Apple. You stayed in striking distance, and then the defense started doing what they do. Started putting pressure on Cam. told you the offensive line was horrible, and Cam was not 100%, and they started taxing him, and you made Cam turn into a passer,
which he's not great at.
And look what happened.
Which he's not great at. Now talk about some of the offensive problems. Because right now, like I pulled up some stats. For the past 3 games on the road, the Saints offense passing has completed. Drew Brees has thrown for 177 yards in the past 3 games. He has 4 turnovers with only 2 touchdowns, which is not good. That's not a Drew Brees kind of game. That's not a Saints offense. Rushing the ball, they have averaged 106 yards in the past 3 games rushing the football. So we're talking about, at max, maybe like 270 yards of total offense average in these past 3 road games, which is not good. We've also seen that the fact that on the road against Dallas in the first half, 0 points. Tampa Bay,
3 points.
3 points. This week, another
3 points.
3 points, I believe, on the road. You see yourself, man, this is not good. This is not good right now when you look at the Saints offense. BK Jones says, what's up, boys? Who that? Do you think the Saints offense will come alive this Sunday? Great question. And David Bourgeois said, at this point, the Panthers have been locked up that their first good play in a while. Confidence was broken.
You're right. You talk about the Von Bell play.
The Von Bell play.
The Von Bell play. Now, to answer VK Jones, is a saying that all coaches say when we game planning, when we talking to the team, what side you're on, and we know this and we believe it, and it's proven time and time again. Ever since football has been started, you go back and check it. 2 things travel with a team: good defense, a good running game. Those two gonna travel regardless the condition, regardless the venue, regardless the situation. Those 2 things will travel. Will always travel, and that will be a staple. Now, if you're not elite at running the ball, you better have an elite defense.
Okay.
All right. Now, the Saints are a balanced team. At best, more pass happy than run. But they try their best to be balanced. Well, the problem is the Saints' main pass play is off of play action. Well, in order to get the play action effective, you got to run the ball. Well, they get away from running the ball too much. But then also give credit to Carolina front 7. That's what they built on. They built on stopping the run. You're not going to beat them that way, but you got to keep them honest. That's one of the main things. But the Saints offense at home is a totally different offense.
Right.
No matter what, no matter who's been the head coach, no matter what the situation has been, the Saints are always a better home team than they are on the road.
Right.
So, to me, the offense is not going to be a problem going forward.
Right.
Because you're back at home for the rest of the season.
Right.
So and then don't get it twisted too. 4 games on the road.
Right.
4 games on the road. Then you have primetime games at that.
Right.
The Saints are used to playing at the 12, 1 o'clock slot. Now you playing all different times of the day, all throughout. So, the offense don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Now, Freddie Francois said, in the playoffs, the Saints will not face a quarterback or a team that scored over 40 points in 5 games. And David Bourgeois says, another receiver has to become reliable. Teams are starting to double Thomas and man up on everyone else. I agree with that.
No, see, that's the truth. I mean, don't get twisted. We knew this coming into the year. The Saints knew this coming into the year. It's a reason why you say, all right, we go and get a bigger body that can get open like Cam Meredith. The team tried to rush him back. He still wasn't 100% coming back off the knee injury, re-aggravated it. We lost him for the season. All right, tag in. He started off hot. He gets hurt. He's coming back now. Then on top of that, you look at guys like, what's up, buddy?
What's up, bitch?
We look at guys like Twaquan Smith, who we know got the potential, but he's a rookie. You know, he got the young learning curve, and the problem with Traquan Smith is he's too inconsistent. He's too inconsistent.
He had some drops in that game.
You know, you can't trust him. Dan Arnold's the same way. Ben Watson, you don't know if he's gonna get the Ben Watson from Georgia, or you gonna get the Ben Watson that's standing in line at the AARP.
But he had a great catch though, baby. You see the dive catch?
Yeah, but you go back to their second drive. He has a key catch that would have put him in touchdown range. He drops it early in his career. That's easy catch. You can't depend on Michael Thomas and Kamara to win every game for you. And I think that's why I'm not worried about the offense, because for some reason that place on Poitras gives people like Keith Kirkwood, Josh Hill,
Austin
Carr.
And now that
you know what I'm saying? And it give all of them like superpowers or something. Like, Tommy Lee Lewis became a star in the Dome. Away from the Dome, man, who is this guy? Why is he on the team?
Bad.com.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's things like that. So, 4 games on the road, that's tough on anybody, any level of play. Your offense will struggle, but like I said earlier, it's 2 things that's consistent in football: good defense, good running game. Those no matter what, those gonna go. As long as we don't go pass heavy, and I think you got to get Mark Ingram back involved early.
Right.
Early, not waiting to drive 3 or 4 to give him his first shot. Let him open the game. Right. Let start opening up. Use your hammer to keep beating down. That wall gonna break eventually.
Now Randy says this. Randy Assassin says this. I believe when we get back on track, when we get home, we on the road for a minute. Sometimes that can mentally change you offensively. And Jeremy Addison says the Bears D against the Saints in the NFC Championship. Woo. That may not be that's an NFC Championship. That could be a possibility.
I don't want to see them.
I wouldn't mind seeing them in the dome.
In the dome?
In the dome, I wouldn't mind seeing them.
The defense gives people fits.
If I had to pick.
Hey, me personally, I'd rather see them than the damn Rams.
On paper, the Rams are better.
They get to lead. We ain't fake. They had to lead. Yeah, but shit.
That's one person.
Yeah.
Man, these people got arguably the best pass rusher we've seen in the last 10 years. And the best ball hawking safety in football.
See, I'm with you. He the best.
Hold on.
Both of them. Now, Khalil Mack, one of the best.
Name
Jackson's the best ball hawking safety
better than Khalil Mack in the last 10 years.
The old man that we just faced, he just old as shit now.
Peppers?
Hell yeah, man! Look at the numbers, man. Come on, stop it. Stop it.
Producer, can we do
Stop
a poll?
it.
Who's the
Stop
better
it.
pass rusher
Stop
in
it.
prime,
Look,
Khalil Mack or
in
Julius
they
Peppers?
prime, you serious in the prime?
I'm
Man,
serious.
look,
I'm
man.
saying Khalil Mack.
For somebody, look.
Pass
I'm talking about
rushing.
straight pass rushing.
That would be J.J. Watt.
No.
Get the hell out of here, man. The dough.
I'm taking Julius
The
Peppers.
dough. The dough.
What's in your cup?
The dough.
What is in your cup?
The damn dough. That would need to be in your cup.
J.J. Watt not better than Julius Peppers. Now, J.J. Watt is phenomenal now.
Look, let me tell y'all.
But I'm taking Julius Peppers.
Let me tell y'all. Let me
20-some sacks.
Let me tell y'all something. For somebody who studies,
That's the numbers.
look, man. Somebody who studies
Defensive lineman.
in pass, I've never seen an array of pass rush moves that somebody that's 6'7" can jump out the gym.
He's athletic.
And that what makes it so much.
He's athletic.
That what
Julius
makes
Peppers
it
is athletic freak.
Man, people forget Julius Peppers in his prime was drawing up 15, 16, back to back when he was the only defensive person there with no help, with nobody, with no running mate over there. Now look, quiet as kept. Khalil Mack has always had a running mate. He's always had a running.
Who?
Bruce Irvin.
Bruce Irvin, that was that 1 year. In the other years, he was hurt.
Hey, he was there.
And that 1 year, he was
there. He damn sure got help now.
Yeah, now he has help.
Now, David Boudreaux said Aaron.
Julie Pepper never had help in
David Boudreaux said Aaron Donald.
Nah, you can't say that.
He
He never had that.
He had your boy, man.
Stop it! You can't even name him. If you start your argument with your boy, you're wrong. If you start the argument with your boy, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Michael Johnson? No, it wasn't Michael Johnson.
You talking about Charles Johnson?
Charles Johnson. Charles Johnson.
No, he was gone. He was at Green Bay by then.
Man, Charles Johnson played with Julius Peppers for a minute. I'm telling you.
No, he was there. He was gone.
I'm taking Khalil Mack.
I'm just telling you.
But my point is,
you start with your boy. You're wrong.
I'm just saying. My point is, they got the best pass rusher in football, the best ball hawking safety in football, and they got a good.
He's the best ball hawking safety.
They got some good pieces around them. I don't want to play them people, man. I don't want to play them people at all, man.
I'm just saying, J.J. Watt had like 17 sacks one year, 20 sacks one season, 20 sacks.
Tell me what Peppers had, and look at the forced fumbles. That's key for a defense.
I'm talking about,
I'm telling you now.
I'm just talking about, a guy that's, getting sacks. Hey. You know what I mean? But look, we got to get ready to switch gears right quick. Talk a little about the Saints football. A lot of comments in here. All right. But let me read some more of these comments in here. Tracy Key says, defense wins championships. We have a defense, baby. And Randy Assassin says, Mac. I'm assuming he's come out Khalil Mack, one of the best pass rushers you've seen out there.
I'm saying he's the one. Hold on. You said 10 years too. Did you forget about the freak that just retired 2 years ago? DeMarcus Well?
I'm taking
over the I'm telling you, I'm talking about like when you saying pass rush, numbers can get inflated sometimes, but I'm telling you, look when you put numbers and I'm looking at technique too, I'm telling you those kids got it. I never heard nobody say I never heard nobody say I'm studying Khalil Mack. I heard Khalil Mack say I studied Julius Peppers.
He's young buck in the game.
Okay.
He's a young buck in the game. His foe, he a Niners baby.
Hey. His dad is.
None of them studied Lawrence Taylor or Derek Thomas. They all gonna study. They all gonna study.
No, you're not going. No, you're not. You studied Derek Thomas. You ain't studying the LT because LT didn't. All he did was blitz, baby. They ain't no technique. Now he was a freak. Now, and cocaine a hell of a drug. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what the boys about? Hey, what the boys in Baton Rouge say? Power up, goddamn. Hey, it's tough to talk about.
I just want to make these key points before we switch gears to LSU recruiting class. The last 6 games, this is some key stats by the Saints defense. Everybody that was writing the Saints defense off at the beginning of the year talking about we was bad, we was terrible, we couldn't stop a nosebleed.
We was bad, we couldn't stop a nosebleed. All the things right.
Stop. And I told y'all stay woke. We're young. People gonna get it together.
People hating on the cornerback that we traded for.
Over the last 6 games, we got 14 turnovers. Over the last 6 games, our defense got 14 turnovers, 28 sacks, 49 quarterback hits, 4 second half shutouts, and 17 second half points. I mean that is
phenomenal.
That is terrific.
Probably first in the league.
And so that lets me know that we in the right direction. Our offense, I'm not worried too much. I am a little concerned. Teddy Ginn came back to practice last week.
That's it.
I think that's gonna help us out big time, tremendously. So when he comes back and be able to stretch the defense, that's gonna open up more things for Michael Thomas intermediate, with Kirkwood, Ben Watson, and those guys. But I think that when you got a defense playing like that, and you got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees and Sean Payton leading the ship, you gotta feel good, and we're gonna have home field advantage throughout the playoffs as long as we take care of business on Sunday.
So what you're saying is you're not concerned with the offensive problem that you've seen through these last 3 years?
With Teddy again coming back, I feel good.
You feel good.
I feel good. I feel good about it.
Because we got Tommy Lee Lewis out here, fumbling balls and touchbacks, and
that could have been a critical part of the game.
Traquan Smith mixing a couple of key catches, and at the end of the day, you saw the struggle. Like I previous stats earlier. In the past 3 games, Drew Brees had 177 yards passing on average. He has 2 touchdowns and 4 turnovers. Big deal on road games.
Man, look, I know we FanView. I just got to question some of our fans sometimes. This dude said Peppers ain't touching Mac. What is wrong? I don't think people.
The man won the 2nd overall pick.
I don't think people watch. I don't think people really watch football.
It's not close. That's bad.
That's bad.
I don't think people.
I think Mac is better, but I'm not gonna say he's way better.
No.
Man, look, go.
We're talking about a guy who not only dominated in the 4-3, but he also dominated in the 3-4.
Come on now, tough.
Right.
You talking about somebody that had to switch? They had to switch up his styles at the age of 30. And still put up double-digit sacks.
Here's the thing. He was the best pass rusher on that team, and he had Clay Matthews.
Right.
He was the best pass rusher in Chicago.
Right.
That dude's been the best pass rusher on every team he's
3 different teams now.
Right. 3 different teams.
Right.
The only reason why Mac, where he at, is because Chucky is looking for the bride of Chucky some damn well in draft picks.
Listen, I don't know what Chucky doing up there.
Hitting the line. Snort a line, snort a line. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
It's on your page, baby. GSportz.
But look, man, we about to shift gears. We gonna switch to High School National Signing Day, and we got a special guest on the line, Mr. Sam. Sam, you there?
Sam, are you there?
We might have some technical difficulties
right quick.
You know what I'm saying? While we wait for our producer to get Mr. Sam back with us, you know, give us your overview about National Signing Day as a whole.
Man, one thing I know I learned 3-4 years ago, and I think Sam's ready now. So we gonna go ahead. This Sam Spiegelman from
Tiger Details.
He's an alumni of SEC Country. He wrote for SEC Country for a minute. He's one of the best sports writers in Louisiana, man. He does a phenomenal job for his recruiting and giving everybody insight on some of the top-ranked players in the state and throughout the nation that's kind of thinking about going to LSU, that's signing with LSU. Sam, man, are you there?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We can hear him been
Producer,
there.
I think you got to turn that volume.
You got to turn the volume up, producer. Hello?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Now we hear you now.
Sam, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you for calling in, man. I know you got a busy schedule, especially around this time of the year.
Yeah, it's no problem. Thanks for having me.
Man, you know, yesterday LSU signed what, 19 yesterday?
19.
19. He ranked number 4 overall in the country right now with the recruit class, man. Just talk about how you feel about some of the signees from yesterday and where you think this recruit class gonna end up when it's all said and done after February.
I mean, I think they hit a home run yesterday. You know, they came into the day with 19 commitments. They added 2 more, even though 2 current commitments didn't sign, and we'll see what the future holds for that. You know, they're not going to sit around and try to get burnt like they did a year ago with Pat Surtain and James Foster and Mario Goodrich. They're going to go out and just try to fill those spots. Of the 19 guys, obviously they got the number 1 prospect in the country, Derek Stingley Jr. out of Dunham. Right. They got multiple 5-stars in Stingley and Cardell Thomas, Trey Palmer out of Kentwood. Did a fantastic job of getting all of those guys to commit so early on and just sealing the deal on Wednesday. The biggest need that they needed to address, defensive tackle, getting Siaki Ika out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Was that a surprise to you? Everybody thought he was going to Utah. Was that a surprise to you?
It wasn't that much of a surprise. LSU had been in it. They weren't his number 1 team throughout the process. Alabama was leading the way for him for a good chunk of time, but Alabama filled up a lot of its spots as Ika wanted to wait till December to commit. He wanted to play in the SEC. LSU really had a battle with Florida toward the end, but Coach O did a fantastic job of closing with the big nose tackle who could play pretty early on at LSU.
Sam, listen, this is Fred, man. I got a question for you, man. You know, LSU got a chance to sign 10 out of the top 5 players in the state. Right. When you look at the ranking, man, what kind of achievement is, and a couple of other guys, you know, obviously the Devontae Lees and Ismail Sabshis in the state. You know, what is your take about what LSU able to sign your big names in the top 25 in the state? How of an impact that is for LSU?
Yeah, I think it's almost cliche at this point to talk about, you know, Coach O wanted to build a fence around Louisiana. He's always been able to sign some of the top guys in the state, even on the interim basis, and then last year as his full year as head coach. He's done a fantastic job. But the thing about it, he is going into his 3rd year as the head coach, and even a little bit beyond that if you count his time as the interim coach. Right. He's been coming after these 2019 class for multiple years. Those relationships he has, all they know really is Coach O is the head football coach. Right. Guys like Derek Stingley and Ismail Sabshir and John Emery were offered by Coach Ed Orgeron. So it just goes to show you that he has his feet underneath him at this point in the year, and he's going to sign the majority of the top people in Louisiana. It's just a matter of picking and choosing which ones he wants to offer and who he's going to take.
Nah. Go ahead.
Nah, Sam. This coach Hen. Now we know about Stingley. We know what he could do. We know about Cardell. We know about John. Tell us about some of the sleeper guys that might not have the national fame as the other three that I just mentioned that you're kind of excited about seeing.
Yeah, I think Joseph Evans is a really good prospect out of Haynesville. Obviously, Haynesville is 1A, and they're up on the tip of Louisiana, on the verge of Arkansas. But Joe Evans came to camp in June, and he won a couple of one-on-ones with Cardell Thomas and Clay Webb, who signed with Georgia. He's a 5-star center. He has a bunch of raw strength, and I think that was pretty evident during LSU's elite camp. And you saw what Coach O saw in him, and he's got great balance, great physicality. It's what you want out of a 3-4 defensive end. There's a lot of comparisons, a little bit, to Rashard Lawrence. Kendall McCallum out of Oxford, Alabama, played in the same scheme as Quan Alexander so many years ago. He is big and physical, bears a lot of similarities to Kendall Beckwith from a couple of years ago, just how big he is and thick. They think that he can develop into a top tier SEC linebacker. And
now, what's his help? What's his help? Because I know he had the neck injury. Is he on track, or is he gonna have the medical red shirt next year?
No, he's not gonna have the medically red shirt. He had a heart scare. It turned out it was just recurring asthma from his childhood. They're gonna run a bunch of tests when he gets on campus in May or June. But he should be fine to play. Doctors have cleared him to finish out his senior year.
Now, Sam, I think one of the biggest keys of this class were who was going to be signed as their quarterback. They went and got Peter Parrish from out of Alabama. Now, watching his film, I think he's a pretty good quarterback. I in my personal opinion, I thought they could have got someone a little better than Peter Parrish. I don't think Peter Parrish is the answer for them in the 2019 class. Maybe they're looking at, well, he might not be the answer for 2019, but you got T.J. Finley coming in, and I forgot the other kid that's committed for 2020. So they might not be putting all their ducks in Peter Parrish. But what's your take on Peter Parrish, and do you think he can compete for that starting spot and end up being a starting quarterback at some point at LSU?
Yeah, I really do. I'm a tremendous fan of Peter Parrish. I think the biggest thing when I look at a dual threat quarterback is their ability to throw on the run, and that's something that he did a fantastic job of back in June when he camped at LSU. He's about 6'2", 200 pounds, and he plays for basically the U-High of Alabama. So they're putting up 40, 50 points, blowing out teams every week. So he doesn't have to play a full 4 quarters. So he doesn't have a chance to improve his star rankings very much, and he doesn't have a chance to put up those gaudy stats of 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. But what he does, he went undefeated as a senior. He won a Class 7A state championship against Talia Tagovailoa's high school football team. In 2 games where he had to play 4 quarters, they came out with pivotal victories. He has great numbers. He's impressed at every camp setting he's ever been at. I think he flew under the radar. But I think based on his winning resume, what he showed off in camp settings, and he's basically, if you consider Joe Burrow a game manager, he's in that same mold, but he can throw the ball, and he's more athletic than Joe Burrow. So if that's the style of quarterback LSU's after, they should be really excited about what Peter Parrish brings to the table.
So you think Peter Parrish can compete with Joe Burrow? Is he an early enrollee?
He's not. I don't think Peter's going to play as a true freshman. Okay. I would be surprised if he wasn't redshirted.
Okay.
But the fact is, that's really because of Joe Burrow and Miles Brennan, who have more years in that system, more years practicing and playing with the team. Peter is going to be a newcomer to college, but he will compete with Miles Brennan this time next year.
Now, I got a question for you. What do you think which one of the prospects you think that LSU missed on? Like last year, we talked about the Panthers 13 juniors. This year, I think they had the kid out of Arizona. I think Deshaun Miller, who ended up switching, a couple of days prior to signing day. I think he ended up going to West Virginia. Who do you think the kid that LSU was really recruiting, but ended up going somewhere else? Who do you think that kid probably was? That they was really looking to sign, but they didn't get the chance to sign that kid this national signing day.
I think it's the Kobe Dean.
Yeah, I don't think that there is one of those prospects just yet. Pat Surtain, like you said, he made a decision last February. They had 2 chances to sign him, and they missed out.
Right.
It's ultimately that player will be Ishmael Sopcher. He is the crown jewel of Louisiana and a defensive lineman that's a priority for Coach O. In this early signing period, the only guy that they were really in the mix for and missed out on was Nakobe Dean. Nakobe had never been leaning toward LSU, but he had always had them in his top 2 or 3. Based on Devin White probably going to the NFL draft, you would love to take the number 1 linebacker in the country.
Right.
But I think Dante Starks and Kendall McCallum is a dynamic one-two punch that you plug into the middle that it really doesn't matter missing out on Dean. He wasn't that much of a need. But really it's going to be ultimately judged by the Sopcher in this cycle like it was Surtain a year ago.
Now, my question for you is not more towards LSU as a whole, but more towards the state of Louisiana. Where do you put this 2019 class over some of the other classes in the past? Compared to prospects coming out of the state? Because to me, honestly, I think this is the best top to bottom class I've seen since the Gerald Willis, Speedy Noel class that came out.
That was Leonard class too.
Yeah, Fournette class.
That's 2013 class with Leonard and company and Malachi.
Yeah.
And really that 2016 class with Devin White and Grady Williams and Christian Fulton. Those are the 2 best classes in recent memory. This class has all that. It has star power at the top. We're talking about multiple 5 stars in 2019. Stingley, Stopcher, Palmer, Cardell Thomas. But even if you go down to the 3 stars, there's talent there. Obviously, Coach Henry knows, Amani Gilmore is the guy I think is the best quarterback in the state. He's not even the number 1 ranked prospect currently on Rivals. You got guys like Lance Lejeune, who's still uncommitted. This class was, if you get into the 30s and the 40s, and close to 50 in terms of talent, you have some gems down there, which has been unlike most cycles in the state for a given year.
So all right, now I want to take my biased opinion out because I know what the kid can do. You've seen him multiple times. Where do you project Devontae Lee playing at the next level? Do you see him as an offensive guy? Or do you see him more of a defensive guy?
I think he could do either one. I don't think he has his mindset yet because obviously he can have a game where he catches 2 touchdowns and he wants to play wide receiver, and then he has a game where he has a sack, an interception, and 10 tackles, and he wants to play strong safety. I think he could do either one as long as he focuses on one position and doesn't kind of drift off and lose his attention. Ultimately, I think he's going to play offense. I think that's what his gut tells him to do. But when he has a good game at safety, he thinks that he can do both, and he could. But I think his loyalty and his heart is with offense. I think he enjoys being a target, and I think because he is so big at 6'3" and 218 pounds, he is the ultimate H-back that a team like LSU or Ole Miss or Kentucky or A&M hasn't seen since an Evan Ingram type because he is so big. He has more speed than a linebacker. He's bigger than most safeties. So he isn't going to burn you, but he has that vertical ability, and that mismatch that he creates is uncanny for the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and when the ball's in the air, I don't think nobody's can out jump him.
Right.
Dude, serious.
Hey Sam, man, my last question, man, before you go, what's your take on the early signing day thing? Do you think it's a good thing, more so for the kids or for the schools? And what's your take on some of these kids, man, that plays around with signing day, like has a school that's waiting for them to sign on early signing day, and then they want to wait around because they're waiting for that bigger offer. So they wait till February. And sometimes they get burned, and sometimes you end up being sloppy seconds.
Right.
Things of that nature. What's your take on that whole spill with the early signing day, late signing day? Some kids trying to wait around, play around. And do you think it's better for the kids or for the universities?
Yeah, I think it's best for the kids. A lot of kids, I would say the majority know where they want to go before February. There are obviously a few exceptions, but really, I would say only about 15 to 20% of the entire country, the prospects nationwide, have the luxury or should wait until National Signing Day in February to announce their decision. I think by signing early, you're more guaranteed of going to the university that you actually want to go to. You don't have to go to your second or third choice or whatnot. And if you do end up, getting pushed out of a class, that's where the second signing day has a bonus, for lack of better terms. If you got pushed out of, Louisiana Tech in November, you have a chance to go sign, with ULL potentially in February. The door is still open for you. You're not completely messed up by this. I think it's tough for universities because a lot of them have to prepare for bowl games. They're juggling bowl game preparation with recruiting, and there's a lot of sleepless nights, but that's why they make those big paychecks.
Right.
But it is a good idea to, if you have 20 kids committed and only 15 sign in December, man, it gives you the assurance that, well, these are the 15 that wanted to be in the class, and we're going to find 10 more that actually want to be a part of this university. We're not going to get, brought along and then, messed over on National Signing Day. So each has its perks. I do think kids need to be studying up a little bit more on the effects of the early signing period. It's only very few, 1 out of 10, should really be waiting till February at this point. They should be weighing all their options to try to sign, seal, deliver before Christmas, because not everyone is Ishmael Sapsher or Devontae Lee and has 20 universities still holding a spot for them.
Right.
Most of the time, these schools will say, if you don't sign with us, we're going to replace you, and then they end up not going to the university they want to.
Listen, so I got one more question for you. What's your take on, I did some homework, and the top 70 prospects in the state of Louisiana, 28 signed in-state. Whether they went to LSU, I think Louisiana or Lafayette signed 11 out of the top 70. La Tech signed 5 of the top 60. Obviously, LSU signed 10 of the top 25, but 19 still undecided. What is your take on the state of those kids deciding to stay and keep their talents in the state of Louisiana? And there could be a whole lot more being signed. What is your take on a lot of these prospects deciding to keep their talents inside of this state here, besides going out of the side of the state, going to teams like, some state, some school in Texas, some school in Mississippi, some school in Florida? What is your take on a lot of these prospects in this particular class staying inside of the state of Louisiana? And what's the take on some of the coaches doing a great job of keeping some of these kids inside the state?
Well, that's just it. I think kids prefer to stay home. You have a few exceptions. Dylan Moses just didn't want to be home anymore. There was a lot of pressure on him to stay home, and he really wanted to get away. And that happens to some kids, and they're entitled to just wanting to go somewhere else and leave Louisiana and leave their life, to go somewhere else. It's just the case for some kids. But the fact is Coach Napier at ULL, Coach Holt at La Tech, Coach Fritz at Tulane have done a fantastic job of kind of establishing their own borders around Louisiana and making it attractive to come to La Tech and Tulane and ULL again. That hasn't always been the case, so it's not on the kids for wanting to leave and take their talents elsewhere. It's been on the coaches. And the coaches in Louisiana, obviously, including Coach Orgeron, have made staying in home attractive, and they've done a fantastic job of recruiting their own backyard first. And I think it's a great time to be a prospect in Louisiana right now, with so many great college football coaches in the state that want Louisiana kids on their rosters.
Man, Sam, I appreciate you giving us.
I got one last question for you, Sam. Now we know Justice Fields is transferring from Georgia.
Well, it's not official yet.
Yeah, but it's
exploring the options.
He's exploring the options. Now LSU has 6 spots left in this class, with 1 quarterback commit. Miles Brennan, hasn't only seen one game this year. With Joe Burrow going to the senior year, he'll have to sit out a year regardless. Now you have T.J. Finley committed in the 2020 class. You have Max Johnson committed in the 2020 class. Do you think it's a chance if he goes through with it, just saying like I just got to beat out one guy, that he looks at LSU, seeing that LSU is one of his finalists?
Considering neither one of those schools was really pushing for him when he was a recruit a year ago. But he did visit LSU, and I know he had a good official visit. I know his dad really liked LSU, and obviously Coach Orgeron and Coach Ensminger were both on the staff. I think this past body of work under Steve Ensminger as offensive coordinator is probably more attractive to a kid like Justin Fields as opposed to Matt Canada's system. You know, I think that LSU, if they could, they would love to be in the sweepstakes. They obviously recruited him for a reason. LSU's depth chart certainly lends itself to that possibility because Burrow is one more year left. You have Miles Brennan, and you're going to have Peter Parrish, but you know, Justin Fields believes he could beat out any of those two, and we don't know. We haven't seen anything at the college level from any three of them, really. It's certainly a possibility I think that he would explore. I would put them kind of in that second tier of schools behind Ohio State and Oklahoma, but I mean, logistically, it makes plenty of sense. I just don't know how hard LSU is going to explore that possibility, but it certainly adds up to a possible scenario.
Well,
that would be pretty intriguing.
Yeah, man. Well, Sam, we thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule for giving us a call. Could you tell some of our listeners where they can find your articles and where to follow you at on social media?
Yeah, they can give me a follow on Twitter at Sam Spiegs, SAMSPIEGS. All of my stuff is on Rivals.com, and for LSU and Louisiana specifically stuff, LSU.Rivals.com.
Appreciate you, Sam, man.
Yep, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
There it is.
Sam Spagman, baby.
That's good insight on a lot of these prospects, man. You know, LSU number 4 ranked class in the nation right now, man. I mean, when you get, you know, the number 1 kid in Louisiana, and the number 3 overall player in the country, the number 12 overall player in the country, number 32 overall player in the country, I mean, you're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And like y'all talked about, man, keeping them kids in the state.
Now,
if they can land Ishmael Sapsha and Devontae Lee, the task is completed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to get his take on Peter Parrish. I think Peter Parrish is the key to this class. I mean, that's just my opinion because after next year, Joe Burrow is gone. And a lot of people inside the LSU program is not really sold on Miles Brennan. A lot of people is not. I mean, it's not to say that he's a bad quarterback.
They're just not sold on him.
A lot of people not sold on him to be able to lead this program to a national championship.
Right.
And Peter Parrish, just watching this film, I've never seen him in person. Obviously, Sam has seen him at camps.
Yeah,
so, you know, I guess it's a little different when you see him at camps. But just watching him on film, he doesn't wow me.
Right.
You know, he's a good quarterback, don't get me wrong. He's damn good. But he doesn't wow me. He doesn't make me be like, he doesn't have me like, man, this kid has that it factor to take LSU to the next level. Right. He doesn't make me feel that way. So, and then you got to think about it. So when he comes in next year, he's probably on redshirt.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when he does get a chance to play, he's going to be competing against T.J. Finley and Max Johnson. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be an interesting battle too between those three.
Correct.
All of them will be freshmen on the field. You know, Peter Parrish going to be a redshirt freshman. They're going to be all true freshmen. That's why the Justin Fields thing is quite intriguing too, because he has a year of college, and then if he comes to LSU, he's going to have to sit out. So
he'll be sitting out the same year that Peter Parrish is redshirt.
Right. So that would lead me to believe that either T.J. Finley or Mac Johnson going to transfer.
Well, to me, one of them going. I don't think.
Or Miles Brennan.
I don't think we'll have all of those quarterbacks on. Even with, this is my honest opinion, the only way I see both Max and TJ signing with LSU is if Brennan transfer, if he can't beat out Peter Parrish.
Right.
Now I've seen the kid in person, and
Peter Parrish.
Yeah, I seen him in person at the camps at the LSU camp, and man, the thing that wowed me with him was his ability to lead people while on the run. Because, one time, all right, that's a good throw.
Right.
But he was consistently, and it was his 7-on-7, and it was just time. It was just time that he would just literally just roll, man, you're not getting rushed in 7-on-7. Why are you rolling? And he's rolling, and he's drawing like a post in double coverage, leading the receiver away from both defenders. It's things like that. Now the thing that when you look at his body, it's like all right, he's not well put together yet. But not too many high school kids are.
Right.
So a redshirt year would help him in that status alone. He gets bigger, stronger, faster. He's quick as I don't know what. I think he's fast. I think he's quicker than fast.
Yeah, I think so too. He's more agile and straight line speed.
And I think that's one of the things that when you watch his huddle stuff or watch his films, Sam made a good point. He doesn't play a lot of four quarters.
Right.
So if you. I don't think people understand what it means not to play that fourth quarter. If I'm not playing you in that fourth quarter, that means I'm shutting you down in that third quarter. So the stuff that I would usually call that's usually wide open, I'm not calling anymore. I'm calling basic, bland, because I don't want to get nobody hurt, and just and try not to run up the score. It's not our fault that our kids are better than yours, or our game plan was way better than yours, and we just hitting on bigger plays. That's one of the things that is people don't really take into consideration when they look at somebody like that.
And the thing about it, they won not the national championship. They won the state championship 52-7. So that just show you right there that they just was beating the hell out of people all year long. So maybe that's why his film didn't wow me as much because it was so easy and it just. And this was 7-8 football.
And he's like he said, he plays at the U High.
Yeah, Alabama.
Well,
Central.
Yeah, and think about our U High. Well, Michael Hollins might not have a great statistical numbers all over the field. Well, that's because Byron Constantine might go crazy. Mekhi Tum might go crazy. Who. Any other of them 4-5-star kids that's on that team might just go crazy. I'm like, you know what? There's no need to give it to you. They getting ridiculous.
Now, again, I got Justin Fields, and this guy's gonna have some. Listen, he may be thinking about his pro career. When you mentioned it out the GI too, that's I think one of the best fit situations is probably Oklahoma. You go to there, you may be redshirt a year, and at the end of the day, they may have a guy on their roster that could probably play 1 year, and after that, you're already in contention because these kids are looking at what's getting drafted before them and what programs they're coming out of.
Right.
I think these kids are knowledgeable enough to know that, hey, listen, I may think I want to go to LSU or go to these programs, but listen, I'm looking at, look what Kyler Murray did under Lincoln Riley. Mm-hmm. Look what Baker Mayfield did his last year under Lincoln Riley. So it's a very good fit. For me, if I'm him, that Oklahoma probably one of my top, because if you can play that system right now, Kyler Murray put up statistical numbers to where he could be a draftable quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I agree with it.
He could be a draftable guy. And that's not to say there's not other programs like that, but when you're looking at LSU, when the last time they had a real solid, draftable quarterback in their system? They haven't had one since, we can go as far as back as Jamarcus Russell. Now, Matt Flynn was drafted too, and Zach Mettenberger was drafted. But
Zach Mettenberger probably the last one.
The last one.
I think that was Danny Etling got drafted a while, but what I'm saying, but he got drafted.
But kids are gonna start looking at that.
But then also too, look at this one thing. This is the only rebuttal to that argument I got. He played 7-on-7 and in tournaments in the South. He ain't go to Oklahoma. Well, most of the guys that played 7-on-7 with him or against him is either at LSU or Alabama. Mm-hmm. That's just the fact.
Okay.
He didn't have that. He didn't have the receiving room at Georgia that he had. Now the running back room was better because that's what Georgia puts. That's Georgia's offense. Them running backs, and Kirby Smart's to a Saban disciple. He's seen what Saban does. Load up the stable. So that's what he doing. So if you're gonna have to sit out a year regardless,
right?
And you went to the SEC for a reason. People just don't commit to the SEC to say I'm committed to an SEC school. You commit to an SEC school, one, to compete at your school, and two, play against some of the top talents that you're going to see. Because the thing about it is,
some guys who commit to the SEC and transfer out of the SEC, like Will Greer.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Those are like, you know what I'm saying? That was the head coach, offensive coordinator. Like they was sinking them. But that's just don't get it twisted. It's a reason why it's more SEC guys in the league than any other conference. And SEC, if you can make it in the SEC.
Yeah, but we talking about
it holds more
position.
weight.
We talking about the quarterback position. Right? Every other position, I don't.
All right, let me ask you this.
That position, you probably start looking at the.
I'm gonna ask you this. Tua puts up the numbers that he put up at Alabama at Oklahoma. And if Kyler Murray was at Alabama, he put up the same numbers. Who would you say had a better season?
If I put Tua at Oklahoma, I put
you switch Tua and Kyler.
They're gonna say whoever at Alabama.
Right.
Why? Because the tougher schedule.
Yeah.
They play defense in the SEC. They don't play defense in Big 12. So if you putting up numbers like that in the SEC against people that's gonna be on,
that's not a common. When you start looking at
what you mean that's not a common? That's facts.
The thing is, I mean, if you look at the history of the SEC, as far as quarterback wise, it's obvious that the pedigree is the trenches is where you make your money.
Mm-hmm.
And then the skill positions is like the best athlete on best athlete.
Correct.
Quarterback is like kind of afterthought
It's afterthought.
in the SEC.
Yeah.
Like, you know, not saying the quarterbacks are bad,
right,
but you don't see these prototype quarterbacks in the SEC like that.
Right.
And
then when you do, it's like you go.
Yeah.
Prime example, Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
You go. You couldn't look.
Peyton Manning,
Eli Manning.
Look, if Aaron Murray don't
Cam Newton.
Aaron Murray don't have shoulder problems back to back. Look, you go. The problem is, like you said, Oklahoma. All right, Baker Mayfield.
Right.
Name me another quarterback that was draftable out of Oklahoma.
Sam Bradford was first overall.
Okay, name me somebody else.
Landry Jones went third round.
Is he? Where is he now? He's a backup.
Yeah, but he went third round.
Josh Heupel, he didn't make it. Josh White, he didn't make it.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But I think that you do see more quarterbacks get drafted from the Big 12, Pac-10, the Big 10.
Well, the Pac-10 is the quarterback. Is the quarterback
right,
area.
ACC.
You see more quarterbacks get drafted from those leagues more so than the SEC.
Right.
I will agree with that.
And I give you that. So if you talk about, like, for you saying, my thing was, my whole argument was like you saying like Oklahoma gonna give him a better shot.
I'm not saying because he plays quarterback. Now,
you
talking about
Justin Fields.
And to me, you go
and
anywhere in the ACC or
that offense is.
You know what I'm saying? Man, anybody look, you could take a backup in the SEC if they could just follow the system. He's gonna put up phenomenal numbers, and guess what? He'll be a Timmy Chang in the league.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying when I look at the SEC, every other position in the SEC is a dominant skill position, running back, the trenches. But when I start looking at that quarterback position, when you start looking at guys getting drafted, there were 5 guys drafted in the first round this year. There was not one SEC quarterback.
That's true.
I think Jay Fromm has a chance to go first, second round.
He's the next one.
You know, I think Jay Fromm has a good chance to go first, second round.
Matthew Stafford was the first round.
Tua will go first.
Yeah, Tua.
So you talking about, and that's next year class. So you talking about potentially the 1 and 2 quarterback.
But and at the same time, that's the highest ranked quarterback Nick Saban's ever had.
That's true.
So
that's true.
You don't see SEC, Alabama, or LSU, or any of these guys getting really picked. The last thing I could first round pick that was picked in the first round out of SEC quarterback was Johnny Manziel. That's the last one I could think of. You know how many years ago that was? So, but you
wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you talking about 3 years ago.
2013. 5 years ago. I mean,
4 classes. 4 classes later.
I mean, but saying that's just like saying, all right, if you go by that notion, that means nobody would have ever touched a USC quarterback ever again, because they all bomb. And then look
Sam Darnold.
So you know,
I'm not saying that conference is used to producing that particular position. I'm not saying I'm only saying because of the position he plays. He don't play receiver. He don't play running back. He don't play the positions. He plays quarterback.
Justin Fields should have never went to Georgia. End of story. I said that on Twitter, man. I mean, because the whole thing was you went to Georgia. You knew Jake Fromm was a freshman. He started, and he led him to a national championship. You thought you were gonna come out and beat this dude.
And then he took a freshman job at Tommy Eason.
Yeah, and then I mean,
transferred, but I don't know he went.
I guess somebody will come back. I guess somebody rebuttal to that will be like this. Well, Trevor Lawrence came to Clemson and took Kelly Bryant's spot.
Yeah, and Kelly Bryant. Where Kelly Bryant going?
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Drew Lock could be a first round pick.
Huh?
Drew Lock might be a first round pick.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
He this year class.
Could be.
Yeah. Mike Robichaux said, "What's the offense identity next year?" Look, I said this at the end of this, after the last game when they played Texas A&M. You got to demote Isminger. You got to demote him. I wouldn't fire him because that
means you got to hire somebody to be offensive coordinator.
You got to hire. They got to bring somebody in. Listen. If LSU, and I said this countless times over the last probably 5 to 6 years, If LSU ever switches their offense to a true spread system, it's over for the rest of the country.
Got a lot of receivers out there.
Man, look.
You got to go. Listen. You got to go get you somebody like an Art Browse. I'm not saying hire Art Browse because I don't know if they're willing to take on that kind of scrutiny.
Man, damn that. You trying to win.
I'm just saying. Look, you gotta think about. See, sometimes it's bigger than just winning, man. You lose sponsors and stuff like that. You bring somebody like that on.
I understand that, but
boosters be frowning up on it. Look, we ain't gonna give you that bag.
Look, they went after Hugh Freeze. They went after Hugh.
But the SEC commissioner put out a thing saying nobody hired Hugh Freeze.
Who was the one who ran it? Joe Oliva.
I'm just saying.
They own. That's the problem. LSU AD won't let LSU do what LSU supposed to do. Cause look, they
messed up the thing with Jimbo Fisher. He did not handle that right at all.
What about
you messed up Jimbo.
You messed up
You messed up Jimbo. You messed up Hugh Freeze. You messed up Art Browse. You messed up Cliff Clinsbury.
I'm about to say Cliff Clinsbury. My guy would have been Cliff Clinsbury, but he ended up going to USC. Cliff Clinsbury would have been the perfect guy to run that offense.
To me, honestly,
they got the receivers. Boy, crazy.
To me, honestly, I'm going Clemson. Cause Clemson has co-offense corners. Hey, ain't no no more. Come on.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, and this is how I feel. I could be wrong about this, but I got a good feeling that it's after the bowl game, maybe before the bowl game. I probably, if I had to bet, though, it'd probably be after the bowl game. You don't want that kind of distraction going into the bowl game. I'm willing to bet that Steve Isminger will not be the offensive coordinator for LSU Tigers next year. I just got this feeling that Orgeron will make a change. Mickey Joseph, I got a strong feeling that he won't be returning next year.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say Mickey Joseph was about to be the offensive. I said, shh.
No. I got a feeling he won't be returning next year.
No. Now, just to ask him a couple questions.
Mike Robichaux says he's hearing T. Martin might be coming.
I wasn't going to say nothing. Because
they USC fired him to get Clinsbury.
I ain't going to say that.
That'll be interesting. But they got to get somebody that's going to come in here and implement that.
And he a quarterback guy, too.
He's a quarterback.
Won a national championship.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now, outside of LSU, and we kind of wrap this up a little bit. What are some of the programs you say, man? Look, who are some of the big key transfers? I think the New Orleans Seats end up transferring to UTSA.
That's a hell of a class, man.
Yeah, they signed Ronnie Jackson. They end up getting no seats. What are some of the programs you think that, man? Listen, this guy, this team, because I think the SEC signed out of the top 25. They were 12 programs are ranked out of the top 25. As far as national signing, which is a big deal. For people who don't understand, that's why it's hard to beat this conference. When you can sign that many recruits.
What, the SEC haters saying that? Oh, okay.
I'm just saying. I'm just speaking facts. The facts are the facts. 12 of the top 5, they're hard to beat. That means you're getting 70% of the recruits in the country to play in your conference. That's hard to beat.
Wasn't it the same person that just said that last year, this time, SEC overrated? Man, I don't know what y'all talking about. The SEC down for it.
Putting up a good year.
Putting up video. It's over for the SEC.
The Big Ten had a good year. They're not going to win the recruiting.
And you ended with the egg on your face.
They lost. They lost. Those are still the facts. But what are some of the other programs outside of LSU that you think they had a good signing day, and what's some of the players that went around and think, man, this guy's gonna be a good fit? Because you got the kid out of Alabama, I think, who was the one running back. Talking about Trey Sanders.
So he gonna win the Heisman.
He won the Heisman as a true freshman. I'm like, man, you got a guy, Najee Harris, ahead of you. You think you get them amount of snaps? What are some of you think? What programs you think transfers? Signees. What program you think also had a great class?
Man, I think Tulane did a great job with their signing class. They got some people in that class that nobody thought they was gonna get. One of the key commits was signees that they got yesterday. Tyler Justin from Zachary, the corner, 6'2", big physical corner. This kid was committed to Ole Miss.
Yeah,
and J.J. McCluskey and Fritz and those guys did a good job getting that kid to stay home and go play at Tulane. Jaquan Jackson was committed to SMU. He decommitted, signed with
did it on the show.
Signed with Tulane on yesterday. That was a hell of a commit for them because he's gonna do so good for them in the return game and give him that little slot guy. I think he has a good chance to play early. That class is turning out to be pretty good. This receiver he got out of Georgia. I didn't know anything about it. I kind of looked at his film, but they got this kid Tyreek Presley. Remember that name? He's from Riverdale, Georgia. Tyreek Presley. This kid is big time. I think this kid that went to a Power 5 school. How the hell Tulane got this kid to come to Tulane beats me. I guess his people must have really They must really value academics and things of that nature. But if you really look at Tulane class, they got a lot of kids outside of the state. They didn't really get a lot of kids from in-state.
No, they didn't.
One of the sleepers from that class, is the kid from Ponchatoula, Taji Spears. And I remember coming into the season, TJ Finley, the LSU commit, he was talking to me at a camp. He said, G, we got a running back named Taji Spears. Nobody really know about him. I'm telling you, G, this kid could play. And he had a phenomenal season this year. I want to say he ended the season with like 1,400 yards rushing and like 18 touchdowns. And Tulane was able to keep him.
He had 2,000 yards from scrimmage.
2,000 yards from scrimmage. He was able to stay home. I think he's going to be a key contributor for Tulane. I think he got a good chance to play early because Tulane running backs wasn't the best this past season. So I think Tulane did a great job.
I like Arkansas class.
Yeah.
I like Arkansas class.
Yeah.
Greg Brooks, Devin Bush, Dylan Rackey. Chad Morris needs something to get that program turned around. We know he's an offensive guy. I'm not worried about the offense over there. To get to, I don't want to call them shutdown, but I'll call them man-to-man for sure cornerbacks in the same class. Arkansas don't. I'm just gonna keep it bad. Louisiana got the best athletics in the world to me, and our kids are built different.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna find that in Arkansas. Arkansas football is not like Louisiana football, and you gonna get those. You gonna get two of those guys that's gonna come in and play for you day 1, 2.
Right.
Man, they sophomore junior season. Watch out, man.
Man, I gotta give a big shout out to ULO. When you can sign 11 kids,
my boy,
in the state, the top 11 kids.
That's big.
That's a big deal.
That's big.
You can sign 11 of the top 70 kids in the state of Louisiana to come to your program. Bruh, that's telling those kids that, listen, you watched them play, you watched what they can do, and you want to make an impact in the state of Louisiana. You trying to make a difference at ULL. It's only a matter of time for that program. If they can repeat these patterns for the next couple of seasons, that I'm not saying they can go out here and be LSU and be a power, ranked team. But when I am talking about, they're going to have to start having kids play on Sundays, because at the end of the day, you start getting that type of talent into that kind of program, Ron and Lafayette, boy, watch out. They're going to have some wins going up on the board.
Yeah.
And this Southland Conference, wake up.
And they got
wake up.
They got a former AB quarterback, transferred from La Tech, went to Trinity College, and Elijah Walker.
Yeah.
So.
And
wake up.
J.J. McCluskey, his son, Jalen McCluskey, is transferring from Oklahoma State to Tulane. That's going to be big for the receiving corps, too.
Yeah.
That's going to be big. I mean, coming home and complete with it for his dad and Coach Fritz, that's going to make that receiving corps even better. He's a graduate transfer. He just graduated. As a matter of fact, his dad had to miss his graduation because they played in the bowl game against UL. So that's a big transfer. For Tulane. But UL, they had a phenomenal class. I got to give a shout out to the kid from the Tri-Parish, Brandon Lejeune. Touchdown waiting to happen. I think he was one of the most highly touted kids in that class. And just talking to Coach Napier and Coach Jaluk about it, they think he's going to come in and play day 1. And they say they're going to use him all over the field. Receiver, running back, a lot of speed sweeps, the return game. They think he's going to be the Sun Belt version of Christian McCaffrey. That's what they're comparing it to. And I'm telling you, if you have never seen this film,
White Lightning, baby,
go watch him. You talk about Puka, call him Wooka. I'm telling you, Brandon Lejeune is that damn good. So, like La Tech did a great job getting Kyle Maxwell. Man, that kid's supposed to be at a bigger school than that.
No. He. If you know Kyle, you understand why he did that.
No, I'm just saying, talent-wise, my opinion, I think he could have went paid at a Power 5 school. I'm not saying he could have went paid at SEC, but I think
Arkansas was.
But I'm just saying,
it was down to them in Arkansas.
But I'm just saying, I feel like he could have went played at a bigger school than La Tech. La Tech just finds a way to keep these kids at home and not go play like a Big Robinson, people like that. And they got the kid from West Feliciana. This is one of my favorite kids in the state, Kyrie Morrison, bro. Man, if you see this kid like in the NFL already. He can play receiver or safety. I think he can play safety for La Tech. I think he come in day 1 and play early. So they did a great job with that class, bro. Coach Skip Holtz and Joe Sloan and Rob Baker, them guys, man, they do a great job of recruiting. And I'm gonna tell you something, bro. La Tech is a place that you could tell when you go to their facility, you go to a game, you go to their camps, it's very family oriented.
Yeah.
When you go there, and that's what they're preaching up there, and that's why you see them getting these kind of recruits. And it's been infectious over these recruits. That's why they're getting so many kids that they shouldn't be getting. And I think next year you see them. I think they got a real good chance with that class they got coming back. Because they ain't losing too much in the class they got coming in. I think you see La Tech have a good chance to go 8-2 next year, 9-1 possibly. I know they play Mississippi State and they play 2 big Power 5 schools, Mississippi State, South Carolina.
Right.
And they almost beat South Carolina this year.
Yeah.
It went down to the last possession. But I don't think they beat Mississippi State. But I think they got a good chance.
I don't know.
You know,
I mean,
Jamal Smith, the quarterback, comes back. So
and another thing too that La Tech got going for them, they got the quarter system. They got the quarter system.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, because that was when I was talking to Kyle yesterday. I said, man, Kyle, I know you told me you would think about it. You know, I know now Coach Sloan did a hell of a job. You know, he was loyal to day one. And I'm like, man, you know, Arkansas was at your neck. What happened? Coach, I want to get out of school early. Enough said.
Enough said.
And we all was college kids before. You know, look, you enjoyed the college life, but when it was time to wake up and hit that 8 o'clock, you know, get to that 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock class every day in and day out, you know, that's a grind that a lot of people don't want.
I agree. Well, listen, we gotta get ready to shift gears. That's that. Listen, we want to get back to pro football for a second. We gotta talk about the Pro Bowl. The roster was released, you know, on the Pro Bowl. You had your AFC roster, you had your NFC roster. Let's talk about some of the, you know, key players, you know, for the Pro Bowl. You're looking at some of the NFC, obviously guys like Drew Brees, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers made it. The running back class, you had Ty Gurley, Saquon Barkley,
Ezekiel
Elliott. Our receiver, I think Mike Thomas made it. Davante Adams made it. Adam Thielen made it. Julio made it. Obviously, we're looking at offensive linemen. I think Tyron Smith, you know,
Tyron Smith
made it. Teron Armstead made it.
Roger Scaffold, Max Unger.
Also Brandon Brooks, the guard
from
Philly. Alex Max, the center out of Atlanta, made it.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So you had a lot of, you know, that's kind of on the defensive side of the ball. You had your Fletcher Coxes, you had your Aaron Donalds, you had obviously your Cam Jordans who made it. To kind of some of the big highlights. Obviously, I think Luke Kuechly made it at your linebacker position. Your Patrick Peterson made it.
Bobby Wagner made it too.
Bobby Wagner made it. Patrick Peterson made it at corner. Landon Collins made it at safety. Just some of, you know, in the AFC, you also had, you know, your Phillip Rivers, your Tom Brady's. They made it. Melvin Gordon made it at running back. Lindsey was a surprise for me for the Denver Broncos.
I think he was surprised.
I think he was surprised. I think he was a surprise for me. He made the list somewhere in there as a running back. James Conner made it also. Obviously, you know, they had some, you know, Antonio Brown made it. At receiver, DeAndre Hopkins made it. A lot of big, you know, key.
I think with James Conner making the Pro Bowl and him having the season he had, I think you see that really mess over Le'Veon Bell coming this offseason. That's gonna hurt the market for him.
That's gonna hurt.
And then this kid, who the kid was cutting up against the Patriots on Sunday. The kid name was, man. Y'all watched? I don't know if you watched the game.
Patriots played
the Steelers.
The Steelers. James.
Nah, it was. I forgot the kid. He was number 38 though.
Samuel.
Yeah. Man, this kid.
The running back.
Man, this kid had like 113 yards rushing. He had like 50 yards receiving. He had a phenomenal game against the Patriots, bro. So I just think that messed over Le'Veon Bell in the end.
Now, Mike Rubisher said DeMario Davis should have made the Pro Bowl. He's a playmaker for this top 10 defense. McKean Kimber said a lot of snubs.
He said how white Uptown is. He should have made it as a utility guy.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all.
Don Beebe used to meet.
I'm gonna get straight to it, man.
Tim Dwight.
This ain't nothing but a goddamn popularity contest. How the hell Fletcher Cox make it? How the hell Fletcher Cox make it? Look,
overshot the rankings.
First of all, I think the football has changed. All right, so you should put people at the position that they play on the field, not what you label them as, but the position they play on the field. Aaron Donald played. Now I'm not saying he wasn't supposed to make it. Don't get it twisted. He made it, but he should have made it at the end. He played 97% of the snaps that he took this year was at the defensive end. Just because he's a D tackle in a just because he's a D tackle in a 4-3, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, he played defensive end. He should have made it at the defensive end spot. Patrick Peterson, hey, I love you. I didn't watch. Well, look, I ain't watching no Arizona game this year, so I don't know what the hell you did. But it was, I think the cornerback spot was the most open spot.
I think Dante Jackson should have made it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
White Uptown should have made it. Demario Davis should have made it. Like, to me,
but see, Demario Davis, he had a hell of a year. But who you can't put him over Kinkley. You can't put him over Wagner. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Van Der Esch should have made it.
To me,
I can't put Demario Davis over Van Der Esch from Dallas.
To me, the biggest snubs are Leighton Van Der Esch, as you said, and Sheldon Rankins. Now I know people. Look, I've been who that true or true. Don't get it twisted. I know a lot of people gonna say Kamara. Look, they got it right at the running back position.
You can't put nobody over Gurley, Shaquan Barkley, or Zeke. You're not gonna do it.
My initial reaction was one thing, but when I finally did the numbers, I had to agree.
They won two.
They got it right.
They won two. Now the only
Christian
thing
McCaffrey didn't make it.
The only thing that Kamara got more than Barkley
touchdowns.
He got more rushing touchdowns.
I think he got more total yards from scrimmage too.
He got more rushing touchdowns. But guess what? Saquon Barkley got more.
He don't.
Saquon Barkley got more receiving yards than him, and he got more rushing yards.
He got more receptions too.
He got more receiving yards and more rushing yards.
Alvin Kamara has over them is more total touchdowns.
But it's one of the things that I think people don't look at. A lot of Kamara touchdowns came from within that 5-yard, frame. Because people expect, when Kamara in the game, expect to pass, something like that. I can see if those 12 touchdowns, out of 12 touchdowns, like 7 or 8 were like long runs or something like last year, but that wasn't the case this year.
He had got some short yard touchdowns.
But to me, the biggest snubs are Sheldon Rankins. He's the number 2 sack getter at the defensive tackle position this year. And Leighton Van Der Esch.
My biggest.
He's number 8 in the NFC at tackle.
I would say this: those two are big critical ones to me. Dante Jackson over Patrick Peterson. Listen, to me, there's Pro Bowl caliber players. Then there's a guy who had a Pro Bowl season, and I think Patrick Peterson is a Pro Bowl caliber player. But I think Dante Jackson had a Pro Bowl season.
And I don't know the numbers. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't see Patrick Peterson. I didn't see one down he played this year. I don't know what he did.
And
I don't know what the catch percentage is.
Right. I'm not saying that. I think Dante Jackson had a season where he's arguably could be the defensive rookie of the year, but I think he's had an exceptional season. To me, Tom Brady is a Pro Bowl top 5 caliber player, but to me, for him to be over Andrew Luck, I think Andrew Luck had a Pro Bowl season. I think I would select Andrew Luck this season over Tom Brady for making the All-Star Pro Bowl. Darius Leonard, to me, leads the leagues in tackles. How does he not make the Pro Bowl?
Matt Ryan should have made it over Aaron Rodgers.
Look, I'm gonna keep it a bang.
Facts.
Ryan Ramczyk should be on this team, on this Pro Bowl team.
I agree with that.
Teron Armstead shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
He didn't play.
He missed 2 games.
But see, that's why I opened and said, look, it's a popular look. People know. You expect Fletcher Cox to be like, he a dog. Guess what? He ain't. Now he got. I'm not saying his numbers are shit, but they're not better than Sheldon Rankins.
No.
The only thing he got better than Sheldon Rankins is total tackles.
Right.
He don't have better tackle for loss. He don't have better quarterback hurries. He don't have better sacks.
There's only one D tackle that's better that has had a better season than him, and that's Aaron Donald.
But he don't pick the tackle. He lined up 97% of the side. That's why I think it should be. Look, all right, you put people in. It should be like they do in the draft. It should be an edge category. Yeah. Khalil Mack falls in that edge, to me, in that edge guy, because the Bears run on a 3-4 hybrid 4-3 thing. He lines up mostly at the DN and pass rush situation that he's outside linebacker at time. So he should be the flex edge guy, and that's why I say that's where Demario Davis would have got a spot at the linebacker's position.
I'm gonna just say this. every year in the Pro Bowl, you're going to have snubs. I mean,
Right.
you just can't, everybody can't make
Everybody
it.
can't make
It is what it is. It's just like when you come out with all district and all state teams.
Right.
Some all-star games for the NBA. People are going to get snubbed. But for the life of me, it's 3 names on this list. I don't know how the hell they didn't make this Pro Bowl. Y'all talking about Sheldon Rankins. Man, how the hell DeForest Buckner from the San Francisco 49ers they make it at D tackle?
Hold on. Who's that again?
DeForest Buckner.
The same guy that's always giving me crap when I name the San Francisco 49ers defense line. Tell me how
that's one person, baby. That's one person. That's one
know what I'm
person.
saying?
Eric Armstead. I can keep it going, baby.
I keep joking.
That's one person. DeForest Buckner had 11 sacks, 60 tackles, 16 TFLs. How the hell Fletcher Cox or Akeem Hicks made this over him? That's terrible. Like, I can't even, that's mind-boggling to me how this guy didn't make the Pro Bowl. Chris Jones, the D lineman from the Kansas City Chiefs. No, he not the sexy name. No, you really don't know who he is.
Look at his numbers.
But if you're a football guy, you watch Kansas City, Chris Jones was phenomenal. 14 sacks.
They got 12.
He had the most yards lost out of every person that had sacks this season, 111. Melvin Ingram had 7 sacks. Now, I'm not trying to take nothing from Melvin Ingram because just because he only had 7 sacks don't mean he didn't impact the game like a whole lot by getting pressure on the quarterback. You know, people having to chip him. You know, he was an impact. But
he
Jones,
also played on the opposite side of fucking Joey Bosa.
Right. But Chris Jones should have made this over Melvin Ingram and Myles Garrett. Now, he should have made it over J.J. Watt. He should have made it. But he should have made it over. He should have made it over Myles Garrett, who don't never get a haircut, who ain't got a line since the 3rd grade, and he should have made it over Melvin Ingram. And my last one, Will Lutz, baby. How the hell Will Lutz didn't make this over? What is his name? Aldrich Rosas? The kicker from the damn Giants? These people won 5 games this year. He went 28 for 29 with his longest field goal being 57 yards. Will Lutz went 27 for 28 with his longest being 54. So guess what you do? You know how you do process elimination. Who had the better record, baby? The Saints. He should have been on the damn Pro Bowl roster.
Because his kicks have more impact.
And Will Lutz kicks was more impactful. This man kicking for pride. Rosas was kicking for pride all year long.
He kicking for that check, baby.
He didn't have a meaningful kick all year long. Will Lutz had meaningful kicks all year long.
You're missing the point too. Will Lutz has the most points in the league.
Yeah. And then on top of all of that, man, you playing for the #1 team in the NFL. Will Lutz played a big part, like when we beat the Browns. That was a field goal kicking game, baby. That was a field goal kicking game, baby. We had some games this year where Will Lutz had to get it out of it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that sloppy field with the weather, how they had the field all messed up that game.
The Panthers
game. He had a lot of games this year where if he didn't hit the field goals, we would have lost those games. So we could be sitting at 4 losses right now if it wasn't for Will Lutz. So his games were more impactful. Will Lutz should have made the Pro Bowl over this kid, Aldrich Rosas. It just was mind-boggling to me. And like y'all see, the obvious, Darius Leonard out of South Carolina State. 146 tackles.
HBCU, baby.
This man had 21 more tackles than the second leading tackle in the NFL.
And he still got 2 more games to play.
7 sacks. These people went from 30th ranked defense to 11th.
Right.
And Darius Leonard had a lot to do with that. So I think he should have made it over McKinney or C.J. Mosley. So it's mind-boggling how this Pro Bowl thing shaped out. But like I said, every year you're going to have snubs. But those 3 names, Chris Jones, Will Lutz, and DeForest Buckner, those 3, I just think that they should have been on the Pro Bowl no matter what.
I got an idea. Nobody watched the damn Pro Bowl anyway. How about you take the people that got the people that got the 1st overall pick, the 2nd overall pick, they play a game. People that got the 3rd overall pick, the 4th overall pick, they play the game. The 5th overall pick, 6th overall pick, they play the game. Winner gets the higher pick.
But how are you gonna get the players to get motivated to play a game like that?
Damn it, man! You get an extra game check. Hey, look, like we keep
people that getting paid ain't gonna want to do that.
The people that are getting paid, but guess what? The people that say, "Look, you either play this motherfucker or you ain't getting traded."
You get a lot of kids, a lot of people come up from practice squad.
Hey, I don't get it done because to me, it will be a more competitive game than what you gonna see, and it's a meaningful impact of what's going on. So I mean, just think about it. If let's just say that year that we got Bush.
Right.
The year that we got Bush, we playing the Texans for the #1 pick. Man, you know how many people that tune in for that game over the Pro Bowl?
So y'all gonna play a game to get the pick?
But you play the game, you win, you get the higher pick. That's what it is.
But what I'm telling you, you're not gonna get like people like Cam Jordan, Michael Thomas, they're not gonna play in that game.
They're not playing the game.
But I'm not opposed to getting people from the practice squad, going sign little free agents. Look, this your shot to make a name for yourself in this last game.
Show me
what you got.
You know what I'm saying? So
a guy who has a career to play for, who's
like this ain't that this like you said, this ain't that veteran like people that's like a person like what Alex Smith was in the 49 when Cap had came. All right, look, let's see who we gonna go in the future with, and we gonna get the higher pick.
And Jerome Wilson said, I haven't watched the Pro Bowl since 2001.
I haven't watched the Pro Bowl since Sean Taylor declared that punter on the sideline. I don't know what year that was.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
That was like 06, 05, 06.
I ain't gonna lie. I watched it.
Smashed that punt on the sideline.
I watched it with the first year that they drafted, where they got the draft team, and T.J. Ward killed Josh Gordon. They play on the same damn team. They play like they both Browns together, and Josh Gordon came his high ass across the middle, and T.J. Ward killed him. I was like, hell yeah, the Pro Bowl back. But
that with the Urban versus or that Rice
versus Sanders. Rice versus Sanders. Man, I'm talking about it was hype. But to me, that's the only because you to me you're losing money. Instead of just name an all-pro team, you're gonna save money by not paying all those guys and commission them to get there. And
families.
And look, there it is. You just got one game to play for. You're gonna have
one all-pro team,
and then it's right. It's in the same slot. We're gonna have those 3 games because those are the meaningful picks. And you never know, it might be some business stuff going on. Like, look, because like a team that's actually in the playoffs that's playing for the Super Bowl might have that pick because of a trade, but like, you know what? Fuck it, we ain't getting that out of it. We can't get it, so we just gonna lose it. It might be say, look, all right, look, we want that first round pick because this year is Nick Bosa. Look, we want it. Look, we got a signed trade agreement with you on the draft day. We'll trade you such and such player just because you won that game for us. To me, I think it's a win-win all the way around.
It's
better than just soaking up.
I don't watch it. I might tune into it in the fourth just to see.
Yeah, but by that time,
I'm not really looking at it.
By that time, you got the third string quarterback, and that team. That's a bad thing. But you stop watching.
But you're tuning for a game for the first round for first round pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First round pick. Yeah,
I probably would.
Yeah, these two.
The number 1 overall pick. These two teams fighting out for it. I'm watching it. Cause and look, that's another thing. Like this thing about that might be a coaching job or something like. Look, we on the fringe of firing you, but you know what I'm saying. I just seen how these young guys just respond to you and stuff. Yeah, that's somebody to trust.
Possibilities and possibilities. I'm not gonna deny that. There's a bunch of possibilities that can go into that. Mm-hmm. I just know there's a lot of people, but I know about players. Players are not adamant about the game, but players use this opportunity to. Here's the facts. These Pro Bowl nominations are negotiation compensations for a lot of these players. A lot of these players are negotiating by being an All-Pro. You know, they come contract time. You know, their agents are making a statement that this guy is an All-Pro. So do they care about the game? No. But when it comes to his contract negotiation, the amount of Pro Bowls that he is and so on and so forth is part of his negotiation. They edify the value of the kind of player that he is. So it does have value. The game may not have value. But from a player who's playing this game from a business position, it has value being nominated versus me not being nominated.
Right.
They could care less about playing that game or not. But if I'm never nominated for the Pro Bowl, I can't ask for what I think the market can demand.
That's why you just look. It's an All-Pro team. That it is.
All-Pro.
It's better. I'd rather put out good product than bad product. At the end of the day, it's all business. The Pro Bowl is a bad product because if the people that everybody want to see, first of all, moving it before the Super Bowl. Nobody watch it because if Drew Brees, if the Saints make it out with the Super Bowl,
that guy's not playing.
Drew Brees not in that spot. So you just fishing around for the next best thing is not. You know
they moved it from behind that because at the end of the day, once the game was played, even though the Super Bowl was played, people turn football off.
Yeah,
I turned it off like football over.
But I used to watch the Super Bowl when it was after Cause like you'll see the people that come in, and then like the purse was higher too. Like it was like if you won the game, you got an extra $250,000.
Right.
The loser got like $50,000. So like people actually played. It was like all better product.
Not denying that. I've been saying people, as players, they're like, man, as fans, people just toned it off because once the Super Bowl happened, it's like football's over. We got one more game. Then people like, man, fuck the game. That's what happened over time. Because something else find with a distraction. Something else gets your attention. You start to tune into basketball a little bit. You get something along those lines. But speaking about a little basketball, because we're going to get back to football in a second, got to talk a little NBA for a moment. I'm going to shift gears a little shift. Anthony Davis. Been a lot of conversation being talked about AD over the past couple of days. Rumor of him being traded to LA, rumor of him being traded here. Hannah, what do you guys think about the AD trade rumor conversations? Is it something that the Pelicans should explore, something the Pelicans should look at? Pelicans should say, kiss my ass, I'm going to keep Anthony Davis till the wheels fall off. What's some of y'all take about the AD trade rumors coming up around the NBA?
Where there's smoke, there's fire, goddamn. Where there's smoke is fire. Now, look, I don't think nothing will happen this year. I think all this happens around when the NBA season is back open. I think it's early June. I think when you can start, like when they can start signing free agents and all that stuff.
July 1st.
Yeah,
July 1st.
Yeah, so I think this happens either in that time or in the draft.
So you think it happens?
Yeah, I mean, cause my thing is, you see time and time again. You only get once. You know what I'm saying? It's not every time a franchise can get a once-in-a-generation type player. The Pelicans seen a casual once-in-a-generation type player right now, had two guys that was close to a once-in-a-generation type player at the same position, back-to-back behind each other, and Chris Paul and Baron Davis. And out of all that, all you got to show for it is one trip to the quarters. The team makeup, the ownership makeup is football heavy. Okay. Look, Tom Benson just did that to say, like, hey, look, man, I believe this team should be here. It's no doubt in my mind if another person comes and say, hey, look, man, Benson family, we'll buy the Hornets or the Pelicans, he'll sell it in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Well, he can't sell it no more, but you know what I'm saying? Well, Gail is selling the heartbeat to me. It's just like a player, a once-in-a-generation type player. It's just like a coach. You can overstay your welcome too long. Things get stagnant. People look, you just expect AD to go out there and give you 20, 25, 13, 4 block shots, lead your team in everything and be content.
Right.
But he came in as a freshman. He's still a young. As 25. You know what I'm saying? He's still young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? His best basketball is still ahead of him. It's just, to me, it's just a good business move. Like, hey, look, we messed up. You know what I'm saying? We you had some coaching problems in there. We had bad front office deals go along. That is nothing that you can have. We seen what we got you a running mate we could do, but now with all these rumors, nobody's gonna come here now. That's just what it is. Nobody's gonna come here, and your contract is up next year too.
His contract now up to 2020.
I'm saying I'm speaking like this year is still going up. You know what I'm saying? So your contract is up the next year. No guy who's top 5 in the league in their right mind would sign a contract going into it. So to me personally, I think it happens. I think it happens. Whoever got the best assets, and that's because the general populace in New Orleans do not care about the Pelicans. I mean, I think at sometimes you might see more people at the Baby Cakes games than you see at the Pelican game, unless you playing a superstar.
Dell Demps. Yeah, he in a pickle right now, man. You got a situation where you're the 13th best team in the West right now.
Yeah.
I do think they're gonna end up getting that 8th spot.
How?
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But I think some way they get to that 8th spot. And I think Dell Demps gonna make a deal. I think they're gonna make a deal before the trading deadline and try to get somebody over there. And I mean, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a star-studded name, but I think they get somebody over there, a couple pieces over there to try to help Andy Davis out.
Jabbar Parker?
To make that's not enough.
Come on, now.
I'm just saying.
That's not enough. I mean,
he would help. Available.
He would help, but I mean, they need wings.
Did it?
They need wings. You know. I think
they need wings.
Lemon pepper. I think what you got to do, man. If you deal with them, this what I don't be understanding in sports, preferably in basketball, because a lot of people have trade demands, and you see this every year with these superstars and stuff like that. If I'm the general manager or the owner and I'm in the front office, man, I'm setting up a meeting. Listen, we're gonna talk one-on-one. Me, you, and your agent. All me and you. We're gonna talk man to man. Look, what is it, bro? Like, do you want to be here? You thinking about going somewhere else? Let us know so we can know how we gonna handle it. We need to get on the phone, make trades. Let's get on the same page. I'm not gonna be going through the season playing Russian roulette with my franchise like that. I need to know what the hell going on. I think a lot of owners, I don't know if they scared to face the music or what the hell it is, but I'm gonna get on the same page. There's gonna be a lot of communicating going on. We're gonna be communicating.
I think what it is, I don't think they got the clout. See, like if
and then I think sometimes too, when you got somebody like Andy Davis, and I'm not saying Andy Davis is a prima donna, but more often than not, these superstars be prima donnas, and they be like this: I'm not talking to you unless my agent with me. Yeah, they do stuff like that. So I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but if that's not the case, we gotta have a conversation. We gonna have communication every day, every week. I'm gonna find out where your head at, where your heart at, right? So I can know how we gonna do this. Because if you don't want to be here, I'm hitting the Lakers up. Go ahead and give me Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram, and you can have Andy Davis in the first round pick.
Now
I don't think they'll give up. They gonna give up Kuzma. I don't think they give up Kuzma and Ingram. But they got first round picks. The Pelicans ain't got no first round pick.
They got one. They got one.
No, they don't.
They got the 2019 pick. They own their pick. They own their first and second round pick. They own their rights.
I don't know what they do or not.
Look, I thought they traded. I thought they traded when they salaried them.
They still own that 2019 pick. I looked it up today. They own that pick. Now Jerome Wilson says they better get something for him now, because if he gets to walk for free, the Pelicans gone
worst field in the world.
Have that shit on their face. New Orleans will always be just a draft spot and a brief stop on the way. Hate to see it, but they can't keep all stars. And Mike Robichaux says, tank for Zion. Akeem Kimber says, Kuzma ain't going nowhere. I look at it this way. I think they're going to finish the season out with AD. Personally, I think Boston has the better resources. I think Boston.
So hold up. So you rather have Tatum, Brown, Rozelle than Ingram, Kuzma, and Lonzo Ball?
Yes.
See, that's why you need to go get checked out by a specialist. What the hell you thinking about?
No, what you mean? You think that I think that tandem of three is a better tandem than Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and Lonzo Ball? Nah. I think they're better. Nah. I think those three better.
I think Tatum is the better player out of all of them. Tatum is the better player out of all of them. Okay. In my opinion, I think he's the better player out of all of them.
I like Brown because he's an all around. I think he's the better defensive player out of all of them.
Kuzma's a good defender too, though.
He's a good defender, but I think Tatum's the better. I think Brown is the better overall defender of the six.
But I think as a group, and see, like the reason why it's not that I think Terry Rozelle is better than Lonzo Ball, but he would fit the Pelicans better. Because think about it, you bring somebody like Terry Rozelle, him and Drew Holiday in the backcourt, it's the same type of player. So you get Lonzo Ball in there, who is a willing passer, who's going to set you up and get you in the right spots and orchestrate this thing at a high level. He fits what the Pelicans do better.
He may fit what the Pelicans do.
And he going to run that Gentry system real good.
I don't think ever Gentry's the guy. I think once you trade AD, I think when you trade AD, you fire him too.
You fire Gentry.
No, you fire Gentry. You clear house. If you fire Gentry, just go ahead and clear house. Start from scratch.
Yeah.
If I'm saying if going by your logic, I mean, because are you gonna take what's left with Drew, Because Drew's still a solid player for you.
Yeah, he is.
Solid. He's more than solid.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
he's the guy.
I'm saying, so you can't. So
one of the best two-way players in the league.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that to him. So if you gonna fire Gentry, you gonna have to just start all over, get Drew out of there as well, let him go to greener pastures, and
I ain't gonna all the way take like this.
I ain't gonna take like that far.
Look, I mean, what?
But I will fire.
No matter what, you gonna be battling for the Phoenix Suns at the bottom. You in the West.
I think
I wouldn't trade.
I think Dale Dunk makes a deal before the trade deadline, and I think they sneak into the 8 spot. I really believe that. It's gonna be hard. Don't get me wrong.
You mean that they still keep AD right now?
Yeah.
They find.
But listen. I'm gonna tell you like this, though.
I'm saying, who what you gonna? Because you gonna have to find a team to take bad haircuts.
Yeah.
But the thing about listen,
and your benches because of the trades to do the salary dumps and all that stuff, you have no bench.
Listen, I'm going to find out if I'm Dale Demps what Anthony Davis heart is. I'm going to find out. And if you don't want to be here, man, bye-bye. I'm going to holler at you, dog. Man, I'm not about to play around with this because guess what? I'm going to tell you something. You see if they play Russian roulette with Anthony Davis like that in that franchise and he walk and you don't get nothing in return, man, they will be bad for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
You better get this right, Dale Demps. You better get it right.
I don't think AD wants to come up as the bad guy. Like, I don't think he really wants to come up as publicly as.
He made the comment saying he don't care about what LeBron saying. I mean, he might really feel like that. I don't know.
Right.
But,
to me, he could have been the prima donna if that was the case.
If he wanted to be that guy.
When Drew was remember the season when Drew's wife was going through her situation, and he was like every day, and he didn't have nobody else to help him. If he was that guy, it would have came out that season.
Right.
Man, look, man, get me help or get me out of here. He resigned for a reason. He's not that because he could have went anywhere then.
I think he wants to. I think that he's accustomed to one, and I think he prefers to stay in the one. But I think as an athlete, when you become what he self-proclaimed to see, he sees himself as the best player in the overall NBA. He feels like
he arguably up shit.
He arguably is. Now, for him to be 13, depending on who you talk to, but he's now 13th in the Western Conference. That guy who believes he's that kind of player does not want to be in a team that's going into the playoffs at 8 seed.
And you got to remember this too, man.
Don't want to do that.
The Pelicans gonna offer him $70 more million than anybody else. Nah,
he might be Carmelo Jr.
Look.
Fuck the winning. Give me the money.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy, dog. But if I could get that max deal, dog, he could make $40-something million a year.
Yeah, hey, but think about it this way too, G.
That's ridiculous.
Think about it this way too, G.
Man, your kids gonna be set up straight.
Think about this.
Taking the money.
Think about it this way, G.
And New Orleans got the best food in America.
That's true.
And he's smashing everything. Anything he want.
Think about it this way, G. Though.
Metro, baby.
At the end of the day, New Orleans still a small market. He might get that $40 million easily in endorsements
in LA.
The same day he stepped in there. Look, they might make something for him.
Them damn state taxes gonna tear him alive. They got the highest state tax in the nation.
That's true.
So I mean, and look, Kevin Durant was on to something when he said he's a toxic playing with LeBron. He was on to something. I'm not saying
he was right.
He was right, but when you go play with LeBron, that's a different type of scrutiny. That's a different type of pressure. It's a different type of.
I understand that too,
you know what I'm saying? It's different.
But I ain't taking no advice from a motherfucker that don't get a haircut. You making all that money, you can't get nothing. You can't get a texturizer. You can't bring Pink Earl moisturizer back. You can't do 360. You can't.
Magic, no nothing.
Damn, even Russ changed his hair.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. But but you know what might end up happening too though? We might get hit with a curveball, and Anthony Davis might end up getting traded to someone we ain't even thinking about.
The Bucks.
I heard Milwaukee, baby. The Greek Freak just told him, "Say, man, come play with us, man."
Could you imagine that front line? Oh my gosh!
The whole league
with Eric Bledsoe,
the whole league.
Man,
Chris Middleton,
long.com, no homo.
What?
Don Maker?
No, you won't. If somebody got to go, Don will have to go.
Yeah, Don, you probably would have to go.
Chris might have to go.
Chris may have to go too.
You know, somebody
him and the Greek Freak, that would be sick.
That's sick.
Cause
I would rather see that than him and LeBron.
Me too, and they both young.
Yeah,
And could you imagine them two gazelles just running?
That's
Oh
right.
my
That's
God!
the thing, though. What?
That's
Dog, and I'm not just saying this because I'm not in the league, but dog, I wouldn't be tripping about that market stuff. Like trying to get to New York, trying to get to LA, trying to get to I wouldn't be tripping about I want to get to this bigger market. Like I understand you got more chance at endorsements and all that, bro. Man, if I'm in the league, and the reason why I say that, bro, this is why I say that. LeBron went to Cleveland, didn't he?
Yeah.
Look, Cleveland is one of the worst markets in all of sports. He made that a market, and he still capitalized. Now you got to be like that to be able to do that. Now you can't just think you're gonna go to someone like Cleveland and be able to.
But think about it. LeBron, like it was like a story, but like he from there, homegrown. You know what I'm saying? Look,
when he had
a lot of people that Jared Goff from LA.
Hell, look what Fisher did him in his first year.
I'm just saying.
Mustache fucked them, boy.
My point is that don't matter, man. If you like that, you can go to goddamn Maine and they can start a damn NBA franchise and you can make it into something and still capitalize off it. So when people be talking about going to these markets and all of that, man, I think that's a bunch of jibber jabber.
Does LeBron go to Cleveland if he's not originally from Cleveland and he never got drafted by Cleveland?
What you mean, like go sign her?
Yeah.
Probably not because they don't have they're not a historic franchise.
Okay.
They're not prestigious.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But my point is this: when you start talking about let's say the Orlando Magic for example.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic not a good market per se, right?
They have to draft that guy.
Huh?
They have to draft that guy.
Right.
The free agent guy ain't signing it.
Well, my point is this: if you that guy, right? If you that guy, like just say if Kevin Durant,
like Shaq did.
Yeah. Like just say if like Penny Hardaway.
They were drafted there.
Do y'all remember the skits he used to have with the little Penny and all that?
Penny,
but the key was they was drafted.
They were drafted there.
My thing is this: if Kevin Durant said, "Look, after this year, I'm going to Orlando," y'all telling me he ain't going to capitalize with endorsements?
No,
capitalize.
No, I ain't
saying that.
I ain't saying that. But my thing, like, you gotta think. This new wave, this new generation, this is what they do now. This is what they do. I think call me stupid, but my gut feeling is I don't think the super teams was made or the teaming up with people were made to win championships. Because you have 3 or 4 little clips get made every year, and it can only be one trophy.
Right.
It can only be one trophy, and every year you got 3 or 4 clips. I think it's a buddy league now. Everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Houston,
and I look at it like, man, you know what? Me and G pretty close. All right. G cool with Fred. You know, G got the bigger name than me. I do my thing. I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? I'm known.
Right.
But G got that. G got that extra reach that I ain't got. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna play with y'all. Now, just think about somebody like Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was in a situation where that's the only team in the country, and y'all make it to the playoffs, and you the best team. You the best player on your team, and like really nobody really paid attention to Chris Bosh. But soon as he go to South Beach with LeBron away, it's like, man, Chris Bosh did. You hear his name everywhere now. You can't mention LeBron without mentioning Chris Bosh and Wade. And no, Miami's really not a big market.
But it's bigger than New Orleans. It's bigger than Memphis.
Russ and Kevin Durant, they made their game in OKC.
You know what I'm saying? With think about it. Ibaka,
Vince Carter put Toronto on the map. Drake talked about it in the little segment with him and Drake.
Right.
I mean Drake and LeBron and Maverick Carter. They talked about how he made Toronto the global.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the market thing, like I said, you gotta be like that. You can't just be who's a star in the league? Who's just a regular star?
A regular star? John Wall.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, John Wall. DeRozan. That's a good one. DeRozan can't go somewhere and capitalize.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody like the Greek Freak, Anthony Davis. But I don't know about Anthony Davis because his personality.
Right.
Because if you're going to go to a market like that, you got it. That's why Shaq and Penny did so well in Orlando because they personalities.
Right.
And Russ with the fashion and all of that kind of stuff. He's outspoken. You got to have a little pizzazz with you to be able to capitalize. I don't know if Anthony Davis can do that in the small
You gotta have
market.
some asshole with you. I mean, I'm just being.
Be outspoken.
You gotta be some type of asshole.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And AD really don't say nothing.
Jalen, he's a football manager. Jalen Ramsey would be that guy that could just go to a small market and just he's outspoken. Yeah. But AD is not like that. So I think LA may fit his personality to a degree. You know, not saying he's a star. He knows he's a star, but he ain't got to be all flashing. He's a star. But he can fit his personality.
But like you said too, LA could be that Band-Aid for him because he's not that guy.
He's not that guy.
He's not that guy. LA could be like
he might not like all the lights and the.
Or somewhere like
they say that's why Kawhi didn't want to go
there. Houston might be a place for him too, cause look, you gonna hear about Harden. Harden, no matter what. Oh man, he traveled this. You know, this the bid. You know, he always doing. You know, he drawing up he gang banging and all that stuff. You know,
that's another. Houston ain't the biggest market either.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying.
City in the United States. It's a bit more.
But they also,
for media wise and exposure wise, no, it's not.
But they also, but like you said, they got Hall of Fame players, and they got players that like you still like when you see Kenny Smith, you're like, Kareem.
Akeem.
Hell. You know what I'm saying? When you see Kenny Smith, like you're like, all right, Kenny, and you like, and you automatically say like former Rocket Kenny Smith. You like, you forget that he played other team. Like,
right. Hold on, Jerome. Listen, you talking about Penny ain't had no personality. His PR team and Chris Rock made him, but Penny was cool. Penny came with he always had a fresh haircut with the lining. He was always swagged out, and when he did talk, he was cool and smooth.
He had no fucking fire ass shit.
He was very marketable. No, he wasn't outspoken, but he had a great personality that people gravitated toward. I kind of compare Penny Hardaway's personality to Alvin Kamara. Kamara is like laid back, not too outspoken, but he's very cool and he got good vibes about himself.
That's a hell of a
swag. He's swag.
That's a hell of a comparison because Penny didn't do it by himself. Now Shaq brought it out him, but it was cause
Chris Rock.
It's cause but I'm talking about like Shaq. Shaq made him do like the answers that Shaq would do, and he'll always go celebrate with Penny. Just like, all right, Kamara is a bigger name than Mark Ingram, but Mark Ingram is out there, always dancing, always stuff. You don't like you say you come see Kamara going to the sideline. You like he'll high five everybody up, but when he see Mark, it's like, oh, turn up time. I'm doing something stupid because that's my boy.
That's my boy.
And it just like, all right, you see it, but then soon Mark leave away, it's like, man, give me that oxygen mess, man. Fuck y'all, man. I'm tired.
Hey, Jerome, you say he was dry as DeRozan. DeRozan ain't got no swag.
No, he ain't no swag at all.
DeRozan ain't got no swag, man. DeRozan, like,
man, his best friend Kyle Lowry. No saying.
He don't have no swag, man. DeRozan, you gotta. Sometimes
I'm just saying, man. Your best friend Kyle Lowry. I got a question.
Sometimes it ain't so much about you being talkative and being outspoken. Sometimes it's about how you carry yourself and how you do things and how you move. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what Kamara do. Kamara ain't not outspoken. No. But Kamara come in the building, he's swagging. You know, he got the hoodie on, he got the slugs at the bottom, he got the grill in that mouth.
Right.
And then when he do say stuff, he cool. He made you gravitate toward him. His personality is infectious over you. You know what I'm saying? It's different. He swag all the time. You know what I'm saying? He eating the airheads on the sideline.
Now Jerome said that just like Deion brought out Ricky Waters, because Ricky was lame before Deion said Fred.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if I was in the league, that's how I'll be, bro.
He said when
I'll market myself.
Now, Mike Robichaud said this. When Rondo left, so did AD.
That was his help.
That's his help.
That was that veteran guy. I mean, don't get it twisted. I think him and Drew got a good relationship, but that was that guy. Like, you know what? Fourth quarter, we could just play off, and he's gonna put us in the best situation. And we ain't pressing. It ain't always on us. No. It's tough when you playing a team sport or any type of just take sports out of it. If you in any type of situation where your success depends on multiple people, and you got that guy that's like, you know, like for instance, we couldn't do this show without Recite, who's the producer.
Right.
If we had to do the show and be the producer, man, look, you wouldn't get the FanView that you get every day.
Right.
So, you know, if we lose, you know what I'm saying?
You lose a producer.
One of us could miss a day, and the show would keep going.
Yeah.
Our producer miss a day, we dead in the water. We doing a show like this. Coming to you live, FanView, whoa, say everybody, say what up, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, so every team has that type of person.
Right.
You know, it just at the end of the day, I think this would be a type of the move that AD on the Pelicans made. It won't be financial. It won't be, you know, it'll be like, all right, look, man. What's your plan? You know what I'm saying? You got to, you know what I'm saying? You about to get married. You got some kids. You know what I'm saying? What's your deal? You trying to, you really want to, you want to live? You want to live in LA? Do you want to live here? Do you want to live here? Do you want to settle down? I mean, you got to, because that's the type of person that I can see. If this was Carmelo Anthony, where everything is just toxic around, like, look, I don't give a damn what you say. You gone, get the hell away from me. Right. Period. I don't give a damn what y'all give me in return. Just get him up out of him. Now y'all problem. To me, AD ain't that guy. I don't think AD will hold up nothing. If he's, you know what I'm saying, he might just look. You know what? I think it's time that we part ways.
But you got to start looking at the financial moves. When you sign with Rich Paul, which is LeBron, you know, sports agency, this guy's. That's an indirect message that he's looking to put himself in a situation where winning now is a focal point. Again,
not necessarily. You got to think, man. People was leaving Drew Rosenhaus, who was the top agent in period, was just leaving Drew Rosenhaus and signing with other people. Why? Because outside of sports deals, he couldn't do nothing else for people. He could just get you top money sports-wise. People might be like, look, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. Well, guess what? Rich got a global reach because of LeBron. And that's, you know what I'm saying, and people grab, all right, look, I see LeBron got money. Look, LeBron building schools by himself, no investors. He do like
now. I think he had a couple of investors. But he had the bulk of the money.
You know what I'm saying? Think about it. How tough is that to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You because at the end of the day, you one injury away from not doing it, and that money, that $30-40 million a year, ain't that no more. How you gonna survive after? And like we said, he's 25, 26 now. And about time if he played till he's 35, you talking about a 17, 18 year career. His body won't be able to handle the most. Hell, that's only 2 years older than us.
That's what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? It's life after this.
Yes, what I'm getting at is that, again, he's 13 right now in the West. At some point in time, he's been in the Pelicans now, since 2012? We talking about his 6th NBA season. Come next year, will be the 7th NBA season. If this guy does not get past this first round and can't make any impact in that second round of the playoffs, especially if he can't get to the playoffs, the writing is on the wall.
Right.
A guy who believes he's the best player in the NBA is not staying with a franchise who can't make the postseason.
Well, I don't know. He re-signed when he first re-signed, they ain't make the postseason.
There's a different stage in time.
No.
There's a different stage. I can't expect a 22-year-old man, a 21-year-old man who re-signed here, now who's going to be down to 26 at that point in time and say, man, I'm going to re-sign for the same reason.
No.
He going to want to listen, that guy's probably going to think about his not just his brain, but his impact as a player. His impact as a player, if he believes he's the number one player in the NBA, happens in the playoffs, buddy. Playoff basketball has to matter. It has to matter. He's going to want to start thinking about, man, what's the Western Conference Championship?
I totally disagree with that notion because the people that put the playoff matter to make you the top player in the league, that's, media people. Cause people, you forget Michael Jordan was considered one of the top players in the league, and he ain't touched the playoffs right away. So that's all perceptive. That's all in how you see it. Cause to me, think about when he resigned. That's when the drafted Golden State team just won a championship. Chris Paul was still, the Clippers was still a factor, and then you seeing all this stuff starting to move.
But I think this,
you would have got out of that. You would have got Ghost then.
I feel like this. I feel strongly about it. I think AD is a very genuine dude. He's a very loyal person. Mm-hmm. Just watching him and listening to his interviews and even when he was at Kentucky,
right.
Just seeing what kind of person he is, he seemed like a genuine guy that really wants to make it work in New Orleans. But with that being said, You know, Kevin Garnett tried to do the same thing in Minnesota. He tried to stick it out long as he could.
Yeah, it's good.
And at some point in your career, you just get tired of losing and not being, you know, tired of being on vacation when April and May comes.
That's correct.
You're tired. You're tired. It's draining on your career. You want to have something to look forward to, you know, come playoff time. You want to look back on your career and say, man, I remember playing in the conference finals. Man, I remember playing in the finals.
And guys who played the game, they talk to him.
And I think that at some point, AD is going to get to that point. I don't know if he's there now, but Garnett, he go to Boston until his 10th season, 11th season, something like that.
And he got traded.
But he had a wave, he had a trade clause. He had a no wave trade clause in his contract, and he waived it and said, "Look, go ahead and trade me." But every year they was talking about Garnett, we gonna trade. He was like, "No, I don't want to go. I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna stick it out."
And Wiley Zerby actually,
I'm saying,
and Stephon Marbury.
But you seen the Timberwolves made an attempt multiple times. Like, all right,
they made it to the conference finals one year.
I'm saying, all right, we give you Wiley. Okay, all right. You know what? We gonna bring Latrell and Sam in there. All right, you know what I'm saying? You know, we tried new coach. We tried. All right, look, we sorry, we just couldn't figure it out. You only seen that attempt one time with AD. Yeah, they made the big move getting DeMarcus Cousins. Like, all right, and that was a half a season type thing.
But it goes to this retrospect too. At some point in time, because of the conference that he is in right now, you're gonna have to start looking at the big picture. And the big picture is you start looking at some of the teams in the Western Conference. You got Golden State. You got now the Lakers. You have Oklahoma City. Man, do not sleep on the Denver Nuggets. I'm not saying they're a championship team waiting ahead of you. But that team with Jamal Murray and Gary Harris and that dude listen, they ain't going nowhere. Now I know last year they beat the Portland Trailblazers. They swept them. They swept them last year. But right now they're playing very good basketball. These are some of the things that you're gonna start being realistic about. That's in front of you in the Western Conference. Now I'm not saying the Sacramento Kings are gonna be the team of the future, but right now they at the playoffs start tomorrow, they in with Melvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox. These are the realities of the situation.
Marvin, baby. David Marvin.
Marvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox and the rest of that crew going on out there. You got to start accepting some of the facts that at the end of the day, the roster you have right now and the resources they have around him maybe not be enough for this team to really plateau to be a contender in the Western Conference. And that's where he's at right now.
Mike Robertson said John Wall will be a good pickup. I mean, I don't know if that can happen. I don't even think the Pelicans got the resources the assets to be able to get John Wall. And that's the bad part about what has to be frustrating what's going on in New Orleans right now.
Because you
don't have the assets to make that deal.
That's correct.
Because think about it.
You don't.
If you say you trade away Julius Randle and Drew Holiday, the only person I would trade them to for is somebody like Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, Kevin Durant.
That's stop.
Probably it. Because if you trade for somebody like Jimmy Butler, y'all gonna be right back at square one.
Second one.
So that's the frustrating part. And that's why the Celtics gonna be good for a long time. Because guess what? Even if they trade away Tatum, they got a lot of picks and they still got talent after them.
Right.
That's in place. So that's Danny Ainge, I can't say it enough about what he's done with the Boston Celtics, man. Just drafting good, willing and dealing, getting people to come there. I mean, they set up for a long time. Yeah. Even if they lose Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
They only set up as far as your, in this case, your front office can.
And Dale Dempsey's been abysmal.
That's it. You only set up as far as your front office can bring you. And right now, they have not done what they need to be done with the arguably that's the best player in all of basketball. You got to get to the point where this guy here is not going to put his best years of his career on situation basketball that he cannot compete potentially for something that matters. Money is money. He's going to get capital what organization he plays in. He's going to get paid. But those kind of players feel at some point in time that every guy that came before him, why are we still talking about him? We don't talk about what they did in the regular season. We talk about what they did in the postseason. That's going to start to matter to a guy of that caliber.
I don't think so.
Anthony Davis had a good postseason last season, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when they swept the Blazers, he played phenomenal. Him and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, in the second round, when they went up against the Warriors, I mean, who the hell was going to beat the Warriors anyway? So, I mean,
players get remembered based upon the things that they do postseason play. Now, I'm not even talking about always having to win, but just being in those moments.
Right.
You're not gonna remember a guy when you look up every single season, here and again, guess what? Come, what it is, April, you on vacation. you'll talk about that guy. Not if he's a top 5 player in the league.
But see, to some people just don't give a damn about that. Some people honestly don't. Like to me, like Kawhi don't care about that. He really if he cared if
his team is playing the Western Conference Finals and championships.
I'm saying you can't help where you drafted. Hey, we say it all the time. It's a staple statement on. We should just get that banner. Look, you only as good as your situation. He can't help the situation that he was drafted in. But just the type of person that you see that he is, man. Look, he don't care. He don't care. Like some people honestly look. AI was one of them. Look, I don't care what you say. I know what I can do. There it is. Put me on. Look, I'm on this team. I don't care. Give me help. Don't give me help. I don't care. We gonna go out. I'm gonna play. Stop me if I can. And I'm gonna show up and do. They give a damn about what you said in the media.
No, but the AI teams is always competitive. They was always making runs.
Right.
And
they also was in the East.
Again, they made a championship and he won the MVP. I'm not saying that the MVP, but then he competed for an NBA championship. At some point in time, that's something about history that you cannot take back. Right. At the end of the day, if you're a guy that caliber, you can say I'm out. In January, I'm in the Bahamas. In April, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere.
But I'm saying you didn't win. There's no superlatives of making it there and losing.
Everybody different though. Some people cool with just making it. Yeah. I'm not like that. I'm just saying. But some people cool with like, man, at least we made it.
You know what I'm saying? And perception is everything. If I'm not putting me personally. I don't hang around people that they can just make it as cool.
No, I'm not saying
I'm saying so like if you know what I'm saying, like if that's where the conversation or if that's when end day shift, I'm like, you done lost me because I'm not giving you hey.
LeBron wanted to win. Every time he made it to the final, he lost 5 times. You think he didn't want to win? He wanted to win.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all know LeBron, my favorite player right now. I was like, look. When he made it there with Ira Newell, Larry Hughes, and when they lost, I'm like, man, fuck. But he made it. I'm like, man, I don't give a damn, man. Shit.
I don't give a damn.
I win on live.
Right.
Shit.
Listen, but at the end of the day, you saw the ability of that particular guy wanting to win. You saw he put slapdicks to the finals. You see what I'm saying? What I'm getting at is that guy that's gonna worry him because the guys who consider listen. I think Mike Conley is a very good basketball player. I think he's a very, very good point guard. Very good. You think, as fans, we can be sitting and talking about Mike Conley, as good as he was, because the team that he was on didn't have enough postseason play. But if I take Mike Conley and I would trade him and I put him in a situation where the team that he was on had a lot of postseason play, you can think Mike Conley was one of the best point guards of his time. Not saying that Hall of Fame-ish and like that, but you view Mike Conley game differently.
Because you all measured by what you do in the postseason.
You measure in the postseason.
Especially when you show up.
There it is.
I agree with that.
But so you try to tell me, because of AD situation, you never consider him. I'm trying to think. You consider Chris Bosh better than AD because of his situation?
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. No. So you can't, you know what I'm saying? That argument is cool at some time, but then at the end of the day, you were like, look, it's 5-on-5. I get to pick whoever I want in my prime. It's time to. I got to pick. Position specific. It came down to power forward. It's either AD and Chris Bosh. You're not saying, well, Chris Bosh won 2 rings. Give me Chris Bosh. You saying, man, fuck it. Give me AD. Right. That's what it is.
No, he's a better player than Chris Bosh, but when you start to look at players that came before him, like a Dirk Nowitzki or Tim Duncan or Karl Malone, I'm gonna say take those guys.
So you telling me 5-on-5, you take Karl Malone over AD?
Karl Malone give me buckets. Karl Malone give me steals.
Man, that's our show.
See, the only person in their prime that I consider taking.
What's wrong with you?
The only person at that position that I'm taking in their prime may be Dirk, and that's because Dirk can give it to you any type of way. But that's only if I got a solid defense behind. If I'm talking about a 2-way player, it's AD all day. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, I'm still picking AD. If I pick like guys who I really love, I love Dirk. I just love Dirk. Dirk was my guy.
Man, Karl Malone can't hold Anthony Davis jockstrap.
Who's this motherfucker saying Karl Malone?
Y'all disrespecting the mailman like this?
Look, you disrespecting AD like that?
Mailman was big time.
Hold on.
Listen, he was big time. But he cannot hold Anthony Davis jockstrap.
But hold on.
Wildest dream.
When AD get an MVP, And he gets to the NBA Finals.
Hold on. Let me ask you
this.
So because he didn't win the MVP, that means he not better than Karl Malone?
So you trying to tell me Steve Nash is better than AI because he got more MVPs than AI?
Yeah,
that's your comment.
As a point guard, Steve Nash is better than AI.
Well, that's the show.
We talking about as a player.
As a player?
Yes.
They play two different positions.
They play point guard. What are you talking about?
He played point guard.
What the hell?
He was a combo guard. He played point guard. He played both of them. But my point is, who is better?
As a point guard?
No, I didn't ask you that. Who is better, Steve Nash or
Allen Iverson?
All right, then.
So stop saying outlandish stuff.
Stop talking stupid.
They play two different positions, though.
You're getting ridiculous.
They didn't play the game the
So
same way.
you saying Karl Malone is better than...
They didn't play the game the same way.
I don't care.
Karl Malone better than Kevin Garnett?
They play the game the same way.
I'm taking Karl Malone.
You.
All right, Coach Hurricane here.
GSportz in the building, man.
It's your boy Fred.
Hey, we about to take him to a specialist.
I ain't going nowhere near his facility.
We gotta take him.
That boy need to be in the bubble.
Somebody put something in his food.
He need to be.
Somebody slipped something in his drink. I don't know what happened.
How you disrespect the mailman like that?
How you disrespect the game of sports? You're bad all the way around. You bad. You just bad. You Chris Sims. You the black Chris Sims. That's what you is.
There you go.
You the black Chris Sims.
Producer, put black Chris Sims at the bottom of his face on the next show. That's what you do.
You disrespect the mailman like this.
I can't be on a platform with somebody that's speaking like this. This is
The
outlandish.
mailman was big time, dog. But
big time.
He is
Big
time.
time.
Can you imagine if Andy Davis played in that era?
I'm taking Charles Barkley over the mailman.
Yeah. Yup. There's another one.
We're gonna do a poll.
Do a poll. Who you taking, Karl Malone or Andy Davis? I guarantee you, if it's 100 votes, I guarantee you at least 70% of those votes gonna say Andy Davis.
We're gonna do a poll.
Telling you.
We're gonna do a poll.
You bad.
That's our show, y'all.
And you been bad.
Y'all tune back next Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m.
You worse than Higgins and HL Bourgeois record combined in football this year.
Why you gotta say each other?
Cause hell, I said my school too shit. So fuck it. We can't be bad by our damn self. We gonna be bad together.
Together. Out of it.
Fuck, y'all still got y'all coach. We ain't got a coach. Kenny Bush said, fuck it. Ain't no scholar walking through that bitch no time soon.
Man, this man said H.O. Bourgeois.
I got a coach, man. That's our show, guys. Listen, 6 to 8 p.m. FanView, Real Fans Talk. I keep telling y'all, this is the best fans show on the internet.
Even with black Chris Sims.
There it is. Y'all subscribe.
And you proud of that shit.
I'm taking Karl Malone.
Embrace it.
Take it all in.
I'm taking AJ Rainey. I'm taking AJ Rainey over Karl Malone. Giving HL Bourgeois all the shots tonight.
Subscribe to our page, man. FanView Live, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to GSportz. You're trying to figure out, here go the plug, baby. I keep telling y'all each and every week. Subscribe to GSportz on Facebook. Subscribe to GSportz on YouTube. That's our show, guys. Tuning back in next Thursday. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. Yo, man, it's Fred. Listen, don't forget to like and subscribe to our New Orleans Talk Network page on. Keep going. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Fred. Listen, don't forget to like our page on YouTube, FanView, Facebook, FanView, and on Twitter, FanView New Orleans.